a dinner carini. Got some things you say and do. Tell me your brain cells off a few, and that is why I hate you.
Wicka, 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 what's up, everybody?
Hello, hello.
We got a great podcast for you tonight, whenever.
And that is why I hate you.
What's up, buddy?
What's up?
How you feeling?
Tired.
Yeah, my wife has strep throat. I'm very,
Yay.
well, I'm trying to figure out how it got passed around because my brother's fiance had it Tuesday, got sick with it Tuesday. My brother got sick with it Wednesday, and now she's got it today. So it doesn't make sense that she got it from them because she hasn't seen them since like last week. So it's more likely that the kids gave it to everybody because the kids have been like,
it's usually always the kids.
True. The kids have been like kind of sniffy and stuff, and everybody has. So we just attributed everything to allergies because I've been a little sniffy and congested and stuff as well. So yeah. I don't know.
You heard me at the park. I was like coughing. So
yeah, you can't fucking win. You just can't win. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So whatever. It is what it is. But I feel bad. But at least she stayed home today. She never takes off. It's like her thing. She doesn't take off.
You know, it's better than to spread strep throat to the kids or to make herself even worse.
Yeah, much better. She got an antibiotic, so she should be good. And like my brother went and got an antibiotic. He was fine the next day. And like,
okay. Yeah, so it's 24 hours. I think it's 24 hours.
Yeah, so which is good. I was trying to think back. I don't know if I've ever had strep throat that I like knew of. I probably had it, but I don't think I've ever been diagnosed.
That's strep throat fucking sucks. Like,
I know. I had what is hand, foot, and mouth? What is the real name? I can't remember now.
Hand, foot, and mouth?
Foot, mouth, and hand, foot. No, hand, foot, and mouth, which kids usually get. What the hell is it called?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Not connected to hand, foot, and mouth.
It's it's called hand, foot, and mouth because it's Coxsackie.
Okay.
It's called hand, foot, and mouth because kids get rashes on their hands, feet, and mouth.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
My kids got that a few years ago when I got it, and it was the worst I've ever been sick. It literally felt like I was swallowing glass because you just get blisters all over your throat, just straight up boils. It fucking sucked. It was definitely the worst I've ever been sick.
I ended up getting Lyme's disease way back when, and they can cure it. They can cure it at first stage, like if they catch it right in the beginning.
Yeah, that was my question. I thought Lyme was uncurable.
I know, I know. No, because most people don't catch it in the first stage,
right?
So you can essentially reverse it.
What are the symptoms during the first stage?
Well, I got lucky because I ended up having this extremely bad headache, vivid dreams, and I had blisters on my feet and the palms of my hands. And my mother, being the type of mother she was like, "You're going straight to the hospital."
Good. And how old were you?
Like 17.
Oh, okay. So you were pretty young.
Yeah. Like she took me in and just like, "Oh, you have Lyme's disease." But luckily, they caught it in the beginning, so I had to take this medication that gave me sun sensitivity.
Oh yeah, it's so weird. Like how so? Because like one of the meds I've been taking for years has sun sensitivity. What does it do to you?
For me, it made like if I was it was in the summer too, so if I was in direct sunlight, I felt like I was human sizzling bacon.
Yeah.
So I'm just like with my girlfriend and I'm bitching. I'm like, "Oh my God, it burns. Everything hurts." And I feel every tingle of the sun. I can just see the UV rays boiling me. Like it was bad.
Well, my fair Irish skin, that happens regardless. So I didn't really notice much of a difference.
For me, like I was just like, "Is this how white people feel? I don't understand."
Yes,
because I've never had sunburn before. Not saying white people don't get sunburn, but I've never had it.
Right. No, that's how white people feel when we go out in the sun for more than 15 minutes. Especially when we're Irish, then it's just even worse. It's like 5 times worse. What was I going to tell you? Now I totally lost my train of thought as usual. No, it happens to me regularly.
Choo-choo
so last night at Taekwondo, I whispered over to your wife. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts. You want something?" She's like, "Yeah, get me a hot tea." Yeah, I put I put a sticker on her tea because I have in my car my for rectal use only stickers that they put on pharmacy bottles, and I put it on her tea, dude. Well, dude, I walked up to her and I pointed and went for rectal use only, and she went thanks, and I was like, oh,
she wasn't listening to you.
Yeah, she did. I was like, I just thought she didn't care, and then she messaged me like 3 hours later. Was like, I just saw the sticker you put on my tea, and she was like, I did not follow the instructions. It's like, okay, well, she probably good.
She came home last night and showed me the picture. I went, yeah, you told me you bought you a tea, and I saw the yellow label and I was like, for rectal, yeah, that is a Matt thing. I finally do that.
Well, I finally got my car back because my wife and I had switched cars for so long, so I put him back in my car, and I got my new park. You don't know how to park cards too that I got for Christmas that. Or like little business cards that say
you put into like windshield, like right under
it says like you are a terrible fucking parker or something. Then it says like see back for reason. There's like little check boxes you can do. So
oh my god,
I'm gonna get shot one day, like probably. I'm gonna walk up to some car with tinted windows, stick it in. Somebody's gonna get out and be like, "The fuck you put this on my car for?" And then they're gonna shoot me, and that's how I will die. That's how I'll be remembered as the guy who got killed putting.
Remember, 2024. That was the prediction he made.
2024. That's it. Do you?
Not going to happen in 2024. Just that you're made it in 2024.
So speaking of 2024, this eclipse that's coming up. Have you read all these conspiracy theories about the eclipse?
I ignore most conspiracy theories. There's always some bullshit whenever there's an astrological bullshit thing going on.
I know my wife messaged me the other day from work that her co-teacher was said something to her about, hey, did you hear about this like apocalypse conspiracy theory with the solar eclipse, and there's schools closing early and stuff. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. She's like, I figured I'd ask you because you know about crazy dumb shit on the internet. And I was like, I haven't heard of this. I looked it up. Like, first off, the schools are, I guess, thinking about closing early because where we are, the eclipse is gonna occur like right at pickup time at schools, at elementary schools. Like,
that's what I heard.
It's literally like the middle of the 10-minute period, like our pickup time here in our school district. So I'm gonna go pick up my kids, and it's gonna be dark if they don't decide. I don't know if you saw, but they put out a post on social media saying that they're considering their options as far as early release or whatever.
Yeah, we're still floating. They're still floating the decision, and we're just
but
waiting.
These apocalypse ideas are like that. It's like there's 7 cities in the path of the solar eclipse that have this name, and it's like some prediction that was made by probably nobody that's actually real, and somebody just made this shit up. And it'll also be it'll also be at the town of evil, and it's like the prophecy's like, oh, it will the apocalypse will happen in the cities of something in the cross of the town of evil. And it's like, I'm reading it, I'm like, somebody made this shit up. Completely.
You know what always gets me about like a lot of these conspiracies do this, is that they will say this word sounds like this word, so it must be this. I'm like, do you know how language works? Because I doubt anything, even if it just sounds like it's in English, like really dates back to anything.
Yeah, no.
They don't attach. You're literally just putting things together because they sound the same. That's called rhyming.
Yes, correct. No, these are just a bunch of morons. You're right. I mean, I could think of like half a dozen at least times in our lifetime where this has happened, where they're like, this certain day is going to be the end time because of this bullshit. And then it doesn't happen. Then they're like, well, we were wrong, but it's going to be.
No, like they don't. They don't say we were wrong. They never say we were wrong.
They say
it was like it was misinterpreted.
Yes, I'm sorry. We misinterpreted. It's actually going to be this date in the future. So if April 8th is the apocalypse, I welcome the hellfire and I will hail Satan. But if it's not, whatever. Fucking shut up. These fucking people.
Look. We have lived through at least 20 some odd like apocalypses in our lifetime alone.
Well, we had the big one, Y2K. I mean, we had the biggest one.
There were two big ones. There was two big ones. There was Y2K, and oh my god, I just forgot.
The 2012 one that they made a movie about.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
was a Nostradamus one, wasn't it?
The global change one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there was a Mayan one at one point. But
I don't know, dude.
the point is that those people who predicted it back then are dead now.
Yeah, why does anybody think that somebody can make a prediction about this without like the scientific knowledge? Now, with the scientific knowledge we have today, they can say like, okay, the Earth will probably last until this date because the sun's going to burn out. Because they can actually do scientific studies.
The
to
super
figure these things
volcano
out.
is a real one that would terrify me.
Yeah,
the Jellystone Park super volcano. It might not wipe out all of Earth, but it's taking us out.
It's taking out our country. That's for damn sure.
Like,
Can you imagine just a lava falling from the sky? It's like, oop, well,
I
guess we're dead now.
Look, it's not even just the lava's terrible, like Pompeii. But for me, the actual thing that scares me the most is the ash. The acidic ash.
The ash clouds
is actually terrifying to me.
Kind of like in AHS Apocalypse, they had the like nuclear ash was like floating in the air everywhere, and that's what was killing people.
Yep.
God, that was a terrible season. I know I already talked about it on the podcast, but I'm liking 1984 because it's very, very teen slasher movie, and
it's of the era from what I've heard.
Very 80s slasher movie so far. So I'm liking it so far. Okay, another. I want your take on this. All right. So I had gotten my wife a new Cricut for her birthday, which I think I told you. Yeah. And her old one, I said, do you want to keep the old one so you can have two? And she's like, I don't think I have any reason to ever have two going at once. So I was like, all right, I'll sell it on eBay. Like I do everything because I try to make sure things don't end up in the ocean if I, can prevent it. That's another story. So I put it on eBay. I looked, it's like listed prices like $230. I looked on eBay, people were selling it for around like 130, 140. So I put it up for like 120.
Okay.
Figured maybe I could get a quick bite. So I get a message yesterday. I'm surprised I didn't tell you about this, from some eBay user, and it says, "Hello, will you take $80 including shipping for this? Please, I'm a preschool teacher needing it for my classroom." Okay. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? This is weird. So I check the person's profile, and the person is selling the same exact Cricut for $140, right? So I immediately go, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense.
I'm trying to resell.
Right. So I messaged, I'm like, wait, is this your scam? Do you trick people into selling you items for cheaper and then you resell them at the normal prices to make money? And then I said, you've got the exact same item listed on your own profile. So the response was this: "Yes, you are right, but the Cricut is not mine. I posted it for a colleague at work who is selling it to raise money for her dog surgery."
Oh my God.
Hold on. If I could afford it, it won't be here. Also, if I had something to hide, I would have posted a Cricut and still I wouldn't have posted a Cricut and still be asking to buy one. So I'm already noticing some weird
the first thing was said, it sounded like it was translated.
Yeah, everything I said is 100% true. I'm a preschool teacher. I have always wanted a Cricut of mine to help me with work. That doesn't sound right.
The thing is, if it's your friend, why can't your friend make an eBay
account?
I
don't know. I could have bought this from my colleague,
need you?
but I felt it would be selfish knowing the price she wants to sell it and the purpose. So immediately I was just like, that is the most bullshitty. That sounds like somebody typed into ChatGPT. How do I trick somebody into selling me this item? What's my excuse?
People don't work like that. No human being works like that.
No. So I basically was just like, yeah, you're full of shit. If you could give me a teacher's ID, and I was like, my wife's a teacher. She bought her own, at regular price. If you can prove you're a teacher, then maybe we'll talk. And then the person gives me, my name is blank, with the name. I teach at this preschool, a very specific preschool here in a very specific place. I have pictures of me in class, but I can't send them because the kids are in it and privacy. That's what it says, because the kids are in it and privacy.
That's not unless they're going to class going, hello, children. Yes, children, come. We're going to teach.
You can go to the school website and you will see me there. So I go to the school website and I find the person, and it looks nothing like the profile picture of the person.
They stole her identity.
Yeah, 100%.
So
then they say to me, I don't have my school ID except you want my driver's DL. That's the exact phrasing too. I don't have my school ID except you want my DL.
Jesus.
And I wrote, you should never give out your ID online to somebody. First off,
first of all, don't give this person pointers, Matthew.
Well,
do not give this person pointers. They're going to keep doing this. Let them be as sloppy as possible.
In the off chance it was a real person, I didn't want them.
No, there was barely a chance when they first messaged you.
I know. I reported the profile, so I don't think anything will happen. And the best part is, I had like 8 people watching it. So when you have people watching it, you can send an offer. So I sent an offer. It was like $5 cheaper, and this person immediately responds with $80. And I'm like, we already had this discussion, motherfucker. So yeah, very interesting scam. I'm just a poor preschool teacher who needs a Cricut for her work.
I am just poor school teacher who want to teach and you have Cricut. Go cuckoo.
Amazing to me. In other fun technological news, I go to print something the other day with my HP printer, and I had printed something like literally 2 hours earlier, and I go to print something and it gives me an error that the print head is not seated properly or isn't working.
Okay.
So I'm like, I take it out, I clean it, I pull the circuit board off, I clean off the circuit board with alcohol and stuff. Nothing works. I'm like, fuck. So I remember a couple years ago when I got rid of my separate, I had a satellite office where I actually went to work when the kids were still home. So I'd have somewhere where I wasn't distracted. When I closed that down and took everything out, I had 2 printers because I had one at home and I had one in the office. So I had told my brother, you know what, just take this printer. I don't need 2. There's no point.
Yeah.
So he took it and I was like, let me see if he still has it. And sure enough, he still had it and he hadn't been using it. And he was like, oh, I was going to give it to our mother. So I was like, okay, great. Can I have it back? And he said, sure. So I go and get it. I bring it back. I hook it up. Same fucking thing. Doesn't work. It's got an error. An error. It says like contact, support for assistance. There's some error with the printer. I was just like, you can't tell me there's been planned obsolescence.
That's planned obsolescence. That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
There's a fucking date in that machine that says at this date, give an error that this shit doesn't work. And to buy a new print head, it's like $20 cheaper than just buying a new printer. So fuck that shit. And then I bought a new printer and then I went to Staples today to recycle the 2 old printers because again, I don't like shit going into the ocean. And I realized they have the ones you can fill up now. HP has them. So when I last checked, the ones that had the tanks were like $800. This one was $20 more than the printer I got, and it has tanks on it that I can use third-party aftermarket ink. There's nothing like proprietary about it.
Go on Amazon or something.
Which I did. I got like all the ink for $20 instead of paying $130 for cartridges that HP makes you buy.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that HP put out a printer with tanks that isn't proprietary technology, so that you could just buy any bullshit ink and put it in there. But I'm done paying for cartridges.
It's so crazy, like how printers and ink was like the very first like really scummy subscription style, like. And they're just blatant about it.
That's how HP hooks you with their whole instant ink thing, where as soon as the printer's low on ink, they just ship it to you and then you just charge you. And I never signed up for it because I was like, you motherfuckers aren't going to wait till it's empty. You're going to be like, oh, it's 2 years old and it's still got a quarter, but it's old ink. So we're shipping you new ink and you're going to charge me a fucking butt-fuck ton of money. And I'm going to be mad about it.
I have a Quip toothbrush. I love the thing.
I had one.
I ended up having to buy a head.
Yep.
And then every month I was getting a new head. I was like, wait, I did not set this up.
And you don't need one every month. Nobody gets a new toothbrush every month.
I didn't set this up to autofill. What the hell is this?
Yeah, when you first buy it, because I got it and it was like free. It was like a free toothbrush.
Yeah, but you have to set up for it. Yeah,
right. Yep, and then I got one and I immediately canceled. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? It's only been a month. Nobody ruins a toothbrush in a month. Like, what do they think I'm doing with this thing?
And mind you, they weren't just sending me that. They were sending me the toothbrush with toothpaste. And the toothpaste,
because it's special toothpaste.
I was like, this is a lot of toothpaste. I don't think I'll ever run out of toothpaste.
They gave it. In the first month, they give you like 6 months worth of toothpaste. It's fucking ridiculous. You're supposed to use a pea-size amount. They give you this giant fucking tube. Yeah, I had one of those. And then I traded it in for an old Sonic Care, or not Sonic
Okay.
Care brush, because once I started going to the dentist, and they were like, yeah, your cavities are weird. Like, you're getting cavities that don't make sense. Like, you have cavities under your gums. They don't make any fucking sense. And then they were
Jeez.
like, get a Sonicare. And I was like, okay. And then a couple months later, they're like, well, that didn't help. Get a water pick. So I got a water pick. A couple months later, they're like, get this fluoride toothpaste.
Yep.
And I got that. And then now they've got me putting this Biotine shit in my mouth at night to try to prevent dry mouth. And did I tell you I bought the hostage tape?
I need to get that.
The hostage tape?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. If you want the Biotine, or do you want the hostage tape?
Biotine.
Oh, I got 3 bottles, so I'll bring you one. Because it was like a 3-pack that they
that
sold
is
me.
not even need to be on air. It just came up.
Well, guess
sorry,
what,
guys?
No, it doesn't matter. They're listening to us banter. Just a quick note. We'll be joined by our guest soon, and she's probably just going to pop in at some point. So we're going to keep talking, and then at some point where you're just going to hear, hey, and it's going to be our guest showing up. So I guess I could have edited it a little properly, but whatever. Fucking, I don't give a shit. That's less editing I have to do. What? Fuck?
So this game that I've actually been really excited for came out called Dragon's Dogma 2.
I've heard of that.
It just came out. I've played the
it.
original one. I own the original and the new one, the second one to come out. It was more of just an update.
Okay.
And the game is really generally hard. I never beat it, but it's really hard because it does little to no hand holding.
Okay.
So I can't read that. It's blurry.
Oh, I'm holding up my phone and I'm gonna post it. Whatever. I'll have to edit this out of the video now. God damn it. I actually haven't posted last week's video yet because it's such a clusterfuck, because we had 2 separate sessions and then Jobeth dropped out at one point. So I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. But anyway, so the game is a Capcom game.
Ooh, I love Capcom games.
And so it comes out and people are, liking the gameplay. Mind you, there's no fast traveling. It's an open world thing, and there's no fast traveling. Or very little.
All right.
Very little fast traveling. Dangerous to travel at night. Monsters are all over the goddamn place. And so they come out, people are saying, well, you showed all these invisible microtransactions. So on Steam, they started review bombing the game.
Which happens.
Despite the game being good, they review bombed it. So I went and looked at the microtransactions, because there's I think 11 of them that just came out. And all of them, when I'm looking through them, it's like, you don't need any of these.
So they're purely cosmetic?
One, I think some are just you get one's cosmetic. The other is you get these tints, so you can have a tent that doesn't degrade or something like that. Another one is a rift stone for fast traveling, so it's a convenience item. If you want to be able to fast travel, pay $3.
But none of them are necessary.
Crystals to be able to buy pawns, which are your NPC partners. But I'm like, you know how to get pawns? You play the goddamn game. You get the crystals in the game. Then you can get a pawn.
People don't want to.
And watching a lot of reviews, people are like, you can play the game enough. And they've never mentioned the DLC. I only saw that on Instagram. The microtransactions. I only saw on Instagram people complaining. They were saying you get so many crystals from just exploring.
Right.
That you don't really need.
People are lazy.
There's no need for that.
People are lazy.
And I'm just like, it's a convenience item. That's technically the way microtransactions should be used.
They should be 100% convenience and cosmetic. That should be it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's literally, they are literally going by a play to win model. And I never thought I would ever defend microtransactions until I saw that. And especially from Capcom, we already know they're going to put a fucking ton of microtransactions into something.
At this point, we have to accept that they're part of our life as far as gaming goes. It just is what it is. We're so far gone from physical media, and everything is online, everything is digital, everything's updated digitally. And I mean, games are released incomplete now with digital updates. So, I mean, at this point, we have to accept the fact that microtransactions are going to exist. So if they're going to exist, they should at least exist properly.
And that's
not
exactly the
not
way
be
they
pay to
implemented the
win.
microtransactions. The way I saw it was that it's purely the way that they should be used. It's $3-4, maybe $5. I think $5 was the most. I think it was for the camp thing
You're
because it
never
makes
gonna
it
make
easier to
everybody
camp.
happy. Yeah, you're never gonna make
But
everybody happy.
they didn't go above $5, and they all were for convenience. If you don't want to experience the game as the way it was intended and you want a minor cheat code, there you go. Granted, I get it because people don't
Hey
want
guys.
games. Hey,
There's Rin. Hi,
people
Rin.
don't want
Hello.
games. Like they don't want their video games to be like $80, which I completely understand.
Right.
And
We're
it's
in the middle
$80
of a
on top of microtransactions that I have a problem with.
we're in the middle
But
of
the
a conversation about
microtransactions themselves, I'm not
microtransactions here.
necessarily pissed off about. At least where this game is concerned.
Wait, Rin, are you a gamer?
Well,
Of course, my phone's ringing in the background.
all the anime posters and video game characters on my bed is all a means to gaslight you all. I actually despise video games and gamer culture and everything that comes along with it. I'm actually a very strong Christian. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Definitely. Yes. 100%.
So we were just having a. Sorry, my phone was ringing. And here it goes again. You
I don't
Good
forgive
job.
you. What
Keep
the fuck,
talking.
Matt? Our first time meeting and your phone's going off. You prick.
Yeah,
keep
you're
talking.
kind of a
keep
piece of
talking,
shit, dude.
Keep talking.
Yeah, I'll keep talking to you. I love you. No, for cancel. No, but yeah. So, all right. So you guys are talking about microtransactions. You were saying?
Okay, so yeah, I brought up Dragon's Dogma 2. It just came out, and people are review bombing it on Steam because there's like 11 microtransactions, but all of them are literally convenience items. They are not like things you need to play the game the way it was intended.
Really?
So we're talking about
And so they're review
fact that-
bombing it simply because it exists.
Yeah, you gotta. At this point, we have to accept the fact that microtransactions exist, and at least in this aspect, they're done the way they should be done: convenience and ease of gaming, or make things more convenient. That's what you said, convenient, right?
Yeah, it just feels like they're more of a luxury than like you don't need it to play it. The game is complete.
Right.
There is a frame rate problem with it, but generally people say the frame rate is like in the city. But then again, like the animations are amazing. The game is open exploration.
Right.
I don't think their load times are crazy at all from what I've heard. And the character like faces are varied. It's not like the same guy wearing different clothes. It's like there are variations to the way they look.
Oh wait, so it's not like fucking Madden, where it's just like the same garbage face, just like.
It's the same in I play. Unfortunately, I play NHL religiously.
Don't
It's the
feel
same
ashamed.
thing. I am ashamed of it because it's like I'm supposed to be a real gamer and I play a sports game. That's just
Where's
takes
your
you out of the
self-respect,
equation.
Matt?
I don't have any self-respect. I never have. But I was
Oh,
telling
you
Joaquin
millennial.
the other night. I am a millennial,
Me too.
right? Yeah,
I'm in the
I don't
cup of
care.
like
It doesn't matter.
You are in. I think if you are around our mutual friends' age, you're either Gen X or millennial. You're like, or you might be like somewhere towards the middle of that.
I more identify with Gen X, but I think I'm a millennial.
You definitely give me more millennial
I'm gonna look it
vibes.
up after. I think you're a Gen X. But
I'm just
not
talking
sure
out of
yet.
my ass. I mean, let's be honest here.
No, I'm actually a
'Cause-
boomer. Yeah. Okay.
No, his wife is a boomer.
Oh, ew, bro. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, what? No, she's not.
Your wife is a boomer.
What, in personality?
I was.
Oh,
my
is a
God,
callback?
you're
Are you
so
calling?
dense.
You're calling
What
back.
do you
You're calling
mean?
back.
You're
It's a
so
callback.
dense.
He's calling back to a previous episode where he called her a boomer, which I think was literally like the last episode.
And she got mad at. She actually saw me at the park. Was like, "Thanks for calling me a boomer." I'm like, well, you are.
I mean, she kind of earned it, right? So should we introduce our guest, or do you want to introduce yourself, Rin?
Yeah, introduce yourself.
All right, of course. Well, first of all, my name is Rin. That's not short for anything. It's just 3 sweet letters, RIN. I am a mutual friend of the J-Man, the Wakimi over here.
Hello.
And we've been
Guac.
longtime friends. Yeah,
I hate
yeah.
you.
Oh, definitely.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Don't start that. Don't start that. I will
Sorry.
headbutt everybody.
Oh
Sorry.
my god, yes, I love violence. Violence is fantastic.
Yes.
But yeah, no. So yeah, I've been friends with him for a while, and I just had a nice chat with Matt just a few days ago, and it's my first time actually seeing and hearing his
Yeah,
voice. So like
We talked for a while.
hours. It was oh my
Yeah.
god, like what came. I'm not sure if Matt showed you Like,
Yeah, we chatted for a long time.
Oh my god.
Well, you both really do like to talk.
No,
It's true.
I
He
have
knows I
no
like
idea
to
what you're
talk.
talking about.
I have
no
a very
idea what
hard
you're on
time
about.
shutting up. Oh,
This
is gonna
show
be
is the
fun.
most that I do ever talk. This show is the most talking that I do.
I guess
Besides
in one
one with
sitting.
me.
In one sitting, yes.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, Joaquin. Like, there's times when me and you hang out where we 4 hours
It
fly
depends
by.
on the company that I'm with, but I don't spend time with people.
Ah, I see. You're
You spend time with me, bud.
That's because you force me to.
I do.
Ooh, yes, Daddy.
I just because I call you up and say I'm coming over. I mean, I kind of.
But anyway, I'm sorry. No, your introduction.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
Yeah. Fucking boys will be boys, I guess, right?
Shut up.
Nailed it.
Hey, that's infantilizing. We're men.
Oh, so sorry. Oh no.
Yes.
Burn!
I attacked their fragile egos. Well, excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, you froze.
Did I freeze?
There you go.
All right, thank God.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been going in and out.
Yeah,
like
for a
that.
second.
You're back.
It happens.
All right, yay! I love
happens.
instability. Hell yeah. What do you call it? We nailed it. But yeah, so that's basically my thing. Yeah.
You just exist.
Yeah, I exist. I mean, I guess I could get into like my hobbies and like things that make me go wee. If you want, but like I'm not sure what you're looking for.
We're good. We're not interested in you as a person, just that you are a person.
Exactly, I exist and I am decent to look at. Yeah. Well, I drink
God,
my
you want to
Minute
talk
Maid berry
about
juice.
egos?
Yeah, I mean,
Jeez.
maybe we should just shut up.
Right? No.
Say-
You let her talk and she won't stop. I swear to. I'm telling you right now.
But at
Do
least
not.
it'll be
She will
interesting.
usurp the show.
She
But at
will if
least
I
it'll be
mute her.
interesting though.
So you're saying we're not interesting?
Oh no! I'm saying that even if I do usurp the show, which I will not, because I actually like hearing other people talk. Believe it or not, what do you call it? Hearing
I
conflicting
don't.
ideas. How dare you? What do you call it? I'm gonna kill you. With love, of course. In Minecraft, I will delete all your servers.
In Minecraft.
Freaking. And so basically, yeah. At least I'm entertaining. But no, I will not usurp the show. This time.
This time.
You're only our second guest ever, so we're not really. We don't know how to handle it. If you did, we wouldn't know what to do.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
You just cry in the corner. Oh no, she's talking about philosophy. Shit.
More poop jokes.
No, yeah, just shit, pee pee, caca, poo poo. Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go, we're back.
that's what our podcast is about. Shit jokes mostly. I told Joaquin many times we need a poop jingle when we talk about poop.
No.
Yes, make one.
We'll get one
I'm so
eventually.
against this.
Let's do it right now.
He's gonna. And the thing is, he's gonna make it.
Okay,
And he's
all
gonna
right.
just like surprise me with it.
All right. Poop, 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 poop. It's time to talk about poop. That's pretty good, right?
Everybody, let's take a shit. Everybody, let's take a shit. Put your ass on the toilet now. Let it out. Take it in.
Plop,
Take a
plop, plop.
deep breath.
Plop, plop, plop.
No,
No, come back.
Oh no, we have eliminated the J-Man.
That's okay.
Oh no.
Oh,
He's back. He's back.
That was the
Yes,
quickest you've ever walked away and come back.
Well, do you know why? Because we paid for the microtransaction to allow for a faster respawn time for Joaquin.
Yes. Unfortunately,
So
I can't use seppuku. They bar that skill.
I was gonna deal. What was I gonna say about? Oh, I told you the other night. I played the new
What's up?
NHL game for the first time because I refused to play it.
Yes.
Because
Yeah. Yes, you did.
I absolutely, I refused to play it because they changed all the controls and stuff. And I finally played it the other night. And my very first game, I'm playing, and like I don't know what I said something like, "Oh man, I can't believe that I gave up that goal." And it's this little kid gets on the mic and just screams the N-word at me. And I
Hard
was
R or
like-
soft A?
Oh, hard
Oh,
R.
hard R.
Oh my
Hard R.
God.
Hard R. And I was like, "Excuse me?" And he just kept calling me it. I didn't know what to say. I said, "Who taught you to talk like that? You're like 5 years old. Like, who taught you? Did your parents?" And then he, I guess, got sick of hearing me tell him that he was a racist piece of shit and his parents were terrible parents. So he just puts on this song that's just "I hate N-word" over and over again. That was the song. It was just kept
Oh my
saying it.
God.
I guess
And
that
you know
was
what's
the
really
hook.
funny? What's really funny to me is that Matt's screen name is Bleak Neon Black.
Yeah, I get it a lot.
So people assume that he's a black guy because the
They
word
do.
black is in there.
They do. They just
Okay,
assume
okay.
that I'm the black guy because of my screen name. So it happens often, but it was the very first game, and I was like, "Yep, that's typical NHL online multiplayer."
Oh my god.
Why can't us
I whooped
white
his
guys
ass.
have a safe space?
But I whooped his
Our
ass.
NHL was our
All right?
safe space.
I whooped that little bitch's ass. So I got the last.
Good.
I got the last
Oh my
word.
You
God.
got it. You did it for
Do
us
you know what I should
brothers.
do?
I
no, you
sure
guys.
did. I did it for you, Joaquin. I
Wait.
did it for you.
Oh damn it. All right.
Oh,
Okay, I think I'm back. All right. Cool.
Oh,
Because it froze. Oh my god.
Yes, you're back.
Because I was gonna
Oh, you're still
say
freezing?
like, yeah, but then you guys
Yeah, it
froze
froze
for
for a
2
sec.
seconds.
if we
we did.
move too much, I realize that we freeze.
Is that what it is?
Oh no.
That's one thing I noticed. Anyway,
All right, maybe we should find a new platform then.
Honestly, yeah.
This one's so good otherwise. I mean,
it's really easy. It's really easy to use.
with
All right,
the
then.
two of us, it's always been pretty decent. But now that we've added a third person, it seems to like freezing. You know, I don't know what it is.
I
It's
see
garbage.
You know what?
So let's get back to our
we
poop
need
song.
to. Yeah, before you bastards do that, we need to, I think, stream Jackbox. Like,
Yeah.
this is why I hate you, Jackbox.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Like
I actually was
Jackbox
talking
stream.
about doing
And
a
stream
a
with
Jackbox.
listeners and everything.
I was thinking about doing a Jackbox night tomorrow, actually. So maybe
Oh,
we'll do
cool.
it tomorrow if you're interested.
Yeah, I don't think I have any plans. So anyway,
Um,
but no, I think that would be really good for the show. Like, with listeners while we bitch about things, playing Jackbox.
I agree. I think that could be fun. So I don't know if I can figure out how to get that set up in 24 hours so that we're streaming while we're
Whoa,
playing.
no, we're not doing it tomorrow.
Oh, well, you
No,
know how you
this
know
is
me.
stressful enough.
You know
I
how
know
I am.
you hit
I'll
the
ju-
ground running.
I'll just want to do it and be like, I'll figure it out and I'll make it happen. But I really don't.
I know.
I don't want to.
It scares me.
I don't think I have the capacity to do it by tomorrow. But yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. We should do that, and I think we should do video content, not reaction.
Yes,
You know what?
absolutely.
Like that movie we watched the other day. That was it's a great movie.
You still need to see the ending.
Oh, that's
so
right.
good.
What movie
didn't
was
get to
this?
see-
What was this?
Okay, so the movie it's one of my guilty pleasure films called Murder Loves Killers 2. Not
Yeah.
as in TOO, but TO. No, not
No,
as
it
in
is-
TWO, but TOO.
Yeah,
It's a really bad title. I
makes
found
no
this
sense.
movie. I found this movie in a bargain bin in Afghanistan. That's when I
Fuck
first
yes. All right, nice.
saw it. That's
You
how
didn't
I saw
tell me
it.
that part.
Sorry.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
Tell
That
me
makes
more.
it better.
Tell me more.
And I got it for like $2. It was, and I was like, I'm gonna watch it. It had a poster inside. It was just really dope.
That makes
And
it better.
I fell in love with it because the villain is like one of my favorite slasher killer villains ever.
Is
That
his
makes
name
it so
Pooh
much
McGee?
better.
It's like a goofy indie film. It does all the tropes you expect, but it's entertaining from beginning to end. It really is.
Okay,
It
that's good
was-
to hear at least.
It was really. I think I came in to your when you had it on. I think I came in like pretty early in the movie,
Yeah.
so I think I watched.
Wait, you
most
came
of it.
early in the movie? You came? Bro, really? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Twice.
What was happening in the movie?
It took me a while to scrub the floors.
Yeah, it happens every time I go over. I don't know what it is. Must be something in the air. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
hot and
like
wild.
flavored food.
Yummy.
Wait,
sorry, this is fucked.
flavored food?
White people don't flavor their food.
No.
Rinnos.
Oh, you're making fun of me. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna destroy you just because I'm like white with my skin. Listen, I may be a neutered New York Rican, okay, freaking, but like I know what I like. Don't judge me for my white race and my fucking plain cheeseburgers.
You're the type of
Joaquin taught me how to season a cheeseburger. Joaquin taught me how to season.
Yes,
burgers.
actually.
He did. He came over for a barbecue one day. He saw me making the burgers, and he was just like, "Fuck this motherfucker! Get out of my way!"
Like, do you have these 3 things?
Yes, he
my
literally
God.
was like, "Get out of the way!"
Yeah,
And they were amazing. They were so good.
oh my god, I'm here for it.
But oh my god! Just because you're a gentrified Rican, like,
Gentrified?
you pass, yeah, white passing.
How rude! How rude!
I'm just
Oh
being
my
aggro
God.
today. I'm tired, and
I
so I'm just
know.
being aggro.
You are aggro today. You're
You're
very
just being a
aggro
man.
today.
You're being a yucky man.
Yeah.
I was okay. So I was like falling asleep on the couch earlier. I set an alarm saying, "Okay, we're gonna record at this time." So I'm just gonna set my alarm. And I started going to sleep, and Matt texted me, and I gave him a one-word answer, and I went to go back to sleep.
Wait.
Hold on. I'll even read it out because I know why you felt that. I'm not blaming you for feeling the way you
Okay.
did.
All right. What did I text you before that text? What was the text?
I'm
going
to check right now because you text me like in the middle of the night.
Yeah. What was
too,
that text? What was that text?
So
no,
he says, "How is Aaron's going?"
No.
Your errands.
No.
So wait, hold on.
Aaron's.
Oh, I'm sorry. Last night I had gone to sleep early, and he texted me, "Love you, buddy." I never replied.
See? Ha!
Damn.
And you didn't reply.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Mind you, I didn't think taking on a friend was taking on a second girlfriend.
Look, man.
Got him.
I had a friend that acted like a second girlfriend once, and I dropped that motherfucker very quickly when he basically told me I didn't make enough time for him, and I was like,
well,
you're
we'll
not my
start
girlfriend.
seeing the signs now, sir.
Basically, yeah.
I'm not. That's not the same. It's not the same. All right, fine.
Is it not?
Fine. I don't love you. I hate you. That is why I hate you. Fuck you. Finish.
So
finish.
He goes, "Aaron's." I go, "Fine," because I had just gotten back. He goes, "You okay?" I go, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Oh, what a due response. Ugh.
He says, "Oh, okay." It is a me response.
Ugh.
He goes, "Okay."
Tell me, Rin.
One word text with a period to me means me bad mood. I go, "Okay, period."
Oh fuck!
Am I
Oh,
wrong?
I hate that. I would hate that.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Now,
I do too.
no, hold on. From me specifically,
Oh.
knowing me, if that is that me being upset or is that me being a smartass?
Maybe both. Depends on your mood.
You think
Dude.
you're just trying to play both sides so you don't
Dude.
lose?
Oh
Dude,
no!
you normally-
Forget. Oh no!
you
I'm
don't
not
normally
afraid to
text
go in the
me.
fire.
You don't normally text me one word answers with a period, okay? That's all I'm saying.
So then
And I cared enough
he
to call
calls
and
me.
see if you were okay.
I finally fall asleep. And
You
he
didn't say
calls
that.
me.
You didn't tell me any of that.
I don't have to tell you that I'm
You
sleeping.
didn't say that. You didn't say that.
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't-
sorry. I don't
I'm
expect
sorry,
you to be
don't call
sleeping
me
at
'cause I'm
1
going to
o'clock in the
sleep.
afternoon. I'm sorry. I don't know
I've
that you're
been
asleep.
so goddamn tired.
I know,
this
but I
whole
don't
week.
know. I don't
You
know that you're
did
asleep.
know.
I can't read
So
your mind,
he
asshole.
calls me. Now, mind you, I'm not mad at him, but I am groggy. He
It's
goes,
getting loud, man.
"Hey,
Jeez.
how you doing?" I went, "Okay." He goes, "Why are you being shitty to me?" Well, I'm not being shitty. I'm tired.
No. No.
What? Okay.
Now,
I'm trying to
correct
remember.
yourself then.
I don't remember the conversation totally. You said something else, and that's why I said
How
why are you
convenient.
shitty?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I said you still good to record, and you said yes, and I said, are you sure if you don't want to, that's okay, and you said if I didn't want to, I would tell you, and I said why are you being shitty? That's what I said.
Okay, fine. You are absolutely right.
Yes, 100%.
But it's true. If I wasn't going to record, I literally would say, "Dude, I don't feel up to it," and I wouldn't record.
Fine. Sorry for trying to be a good friend.
You being a good friend made you an annoying little prick.
Oh my god! This
Don't
is really
talk about
hot.
my annoying little
Keep
prick.
fighting. Keep fighting. This is really hot.
I was hoping you would go there. See, this is why I love you.
That's not the name of the
Jeez.
podcast. You fucked it up.
No. We're not changing the name of the podcast.
Speaking of, you want
Your
to get into topic or?
Yeah, I was just
keep-
gonna say, like, your first female guest, and you're talking about your little pricks. How dare you?
I didn't talk about any
All
of my
right, all
pricks.
right. Let's get into our topic.
It's time to begin the complaining.
Yeah, you like that?
I
Pretty
love
good, right?
that. That was fucking great. It was just like nothing but rock. 94.4.
That
It
is
was
the
totally
little
Death
brick.
Clock inspired.
Yes, that was 100% what I thought it was gonna be. No, the mail. We're gonna get to the mail jingle too, because that's
Oh,
me.
the
Yeah,
yes,
That one's all me.
yes.
That one's all me. So our topic today is trans reformers, and essentially, what?
Groomer.
Groomer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially, are people who, for some reason, seem to think that they need to reform trans people because our guest.
Well, because they're a
Rin is
danger and
trans
they
woman.
are the slippery slope.
I mean, we're all anime fans, and like
look, there's
we're
something.
Oh, that's awful. You're awful. Go away, weeb.
There's something very insidious about people having like a really hard time dealing with people who don't conform to gender norms, right? Like it's fucking weird to me.
Well,
and fucked up.
The obsession is what really kind of scary. Like you literally are obsessed with somebody else's lifestyle to a point.
Yes, and
where
we're going like downhill, like right. So it's funny. I was literally just listening to a podcast about they called it the lavender scare in the 40s through the basically up until 2011, but there was just like the Red Scare, there was a concerted effort to essentially out any gay people in again, I'm not equating the two, I'm just making my point.
Sure.
There that and in government, whether it was FBI or in branches of government, and there was a very concentrated effort to out them and to get them out, and the whole podcast was about this. And essentially the guest on the podcast was Jonathan Rauch, which I've talked about before. He wrote The Constitution of Knowledge. He is a fantastic author, but he's also a gay man, and he was talking about this and essentially how it's like kind of seems like we thought society was getting better about these things, about these topics, about gender, about sexual orientation, and we kind of started to, like in 2011 they got rid of Don't Say Gay in the military, and like that was good progress. We made gay marriage legal, good progress. But like now we're back to these like laws in Florida where they're trying to eliminate any sort of, whether it's gender, whether it's sexual orientation, like just get it out of classrooms. And you know, it was supposed to be like K through 3, and it ended up being K through 12, where like a teacher can't have a photo of themselves with their significant other of the same sex on their desk, right? So I'm curious how you feel about the way the world is now. Like how do you feel now compared to a few years ago? Like, do you think it's getting worse again? Are we on a bad hill going up, making it worse? Are we still on a little bit of a decline and this is a speed bump, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's a few things. So the first thing I would say is I'm glad that you mentioned the Don't Say Gay bill, and I'm glad that you're calling it that, because it's funny because that bill, when you read the fine print, they marketed it, and this is how these nefarious people try and market this to the public. So they try and get us where we can all relate, because of course we all care about children. And of course, we all care about the safety of children. So, of course, when we say, "Hey guys, there is this threat out there, ooga booga booga, that's going to come for your children," you know, and then they're called trans. Yeah, they're gonna groom your children. They're gonna like try and like get them to turn gay, and they're gonna make them like anime. It's gonna be awful. You can't have that. And so basically,
like
they marketed
anime.
it. God forbid, right?
We can't have that happen.
Definitely not. Oh my God, no. But on a serious note, though, like the way DeSantis, the governor of Florida, was marketing this at
Fuck
first.
DeSantis.
Yeah, literally. But he wears awesome heels. Though, I gotta say, he's very fabulous. You know, good for him. They're very gender affirming.
Those boots
His lifts. His pointy elf lifts.
He had those white
lifts,
ones though that
cute.
straight up had heels. Like they were just fucking heels.
Well, because jeez,
Anyway.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I love compilations of Ron DeSantis trying to smile.
Yes,
is the greatest thing. It's like
it's like an AI gone wrong. You know, like in person,
yeah,
like,
like he glitches every time. As you're saying,
no worries.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's trying to conceal the evil.
Oh my God. It's God, like I can't contain it. God. But like beep boop beep. But what happens is that he marketed it as a K through 3 third grade thing. But what happens though is that in the fine print, there was this part of it where it was like wherever we deem it is appropriate, basically. So they left themselves an open door to continue to like open that window and that gap further and further.
Because you can move the goalpost.
Exactly, because they're not in this to be good 100%
faith. 100% what they did. They completely moved the goalposts.
You know,
because you don't expect a man that went to war with Disney on a consistent basis to be even remotely hinged.
Yeah, he tried to take me down, but I said, "Fuck you." I kept my mighty dollar.
I won't take this this indignity?
Mickey went ahead and took care of everything for us.
Damn straight, Goofy. I have she/her pronouns. I have just started estrogen, and I'm feeling rowdy.
You know, Mickey, I think it's about time I let you know that I fucked Minnie.
Obligatory Donald Duck impersonation here.
I can't do that one.
Yeah, I can only do like the yelling thing, and that's about it.
Oh my god.
Mickey, me and
That's
Mickey
all
are
I can
going to
do.
run off and get married. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it.
That's a really good Goofy.
Well, guess what, buddy? I'll take my fucking Glock and shoot your cock off and forcibly transition you. So there's nothing to fuck anymore, isn't there, you little shit? Your cock was small anyways, little fucker.
Kermit enters the picture. I don't think that's
Edgy
appropriate, Mickey. You seem to be doing a little bit out of the ordinary there.
If we were back in the days of Newgrounds, there definitely would be a like Mickey Mouse versus Ron DeSantis fighting game.
Yes, definitely. I would love to see that.
That could still happen. Somebody can still make it.
I think that type of edgy creativity is gone now.
I think it's just harder to find. I think
that's what it is. It's harder to find. All right, back to the point. Look, you come out and you say, hey, K through 3, we don't want to teach them not just about homosexuality or transsexual or any of that. It's just all sexuality in general. We don't want to teach about any of that. And you got a lot of parents that are going to go, okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I don't want my kids learning about sex. Like my daughter, when she asks, I tell her everything. She knows about all of these things already because it's come up. She's asked and I've explained them to her, right? I don't care. She's going to find out eventually. But then when you move, like you said, move the goalpost and start, like, who cares? Like, sexual orientation, like, how is that has nothing to do with sex. It's literally just your preference. Like, I want to be with a man. I want to be with a woman or whatever it may be. Like, how is that even remotely connected? Like, it's crazy.
No, exactly. I think... No, you're right. And I think like what's so interesting is seeing the mental gymnastics that these people will do, like these homophobes and these bigots and these transphobes will do, because there is a distinct difference, but they are correlated. It's a thing where they will try and, because of course they're bad faith about it. So of course, as you said, when someone goes, hey, like my preference is women or men or whatever it may be, or both, they immediately go to, oh, you're talking about fucking. And it's like, no, I'm just talking about, I just want to spend my time with someone like this. But the kitty cat has appeared. The kitty cat has jumped upon.
Regular occurrence.
I love this. All right, then. So, good. The cat was listening. So, basically, cute Katie. Okay, my ADHD is acting up. So, basically, we nailed it. So, where was I? What was I saying? Fuck me.
You're the politicians like moving the goalposts.
Okay, thank you.
From who you want to spend your time with to fucking.
Thank you. Exactly. Yeah. So I think what's important is that we have to look at the big picture here and I've talked with Joaquin about this before in the past, where there's a lot of parallels to how conservatives, let's call it what it is. Like this is basically conservatives doing this.
Sure.
And people that are even further to the right. So
absolutely. Yep.
Whenever there has been a new, minority group to like try and like demand, more equal rights, try and like demand more prominence the way, say, a white person would or whatever it may be, then of course those people will be like, okay, we don't want that. We think you're degenerate. So what can we say? What can we do to poison the well and to fucking muddy the waters as much as possible so we don't get to the core of the problem? So what do they say? So for example, let's take back before civil rights, when we had like separate bathrooms or water fountain, for black and white people.
Sure.
Oh, well, we can't have black people in our bathrooms. They're degenerate. Imagine what they would do to you. Oh my God, we can't have that. Jesus Christ. I'm
all the way back here.
I know, I see it. It's like you just checked out of this podcast.
Oh, no, it's because the cat was on me. I can't really do much of anything.
All right, continue. Sorry.
No, you're totally fine. And then, then in the 80s with the AIDS scare, it was like, the conservatives decided to make it about all the gays, even though the gays didn't create it. It was much more complex than that. But since the gays are more active,
Oh, no. The gays, what the gays did was that they put it in a petri dish and then they all took a sip of it. And then they spread it out amongst each other. And then they wanted to trap all the men who strayed away. So ultimately, God can go, hey, that was a punishment. We created those gays that got themselves sick to get everyone else sick. And now the gay disease is spread. because of all the different.
That was supposed to be a secret.
I'm sorry.
Man?
And the first gay person fucked a monkey, apparently.
And that's
you see,
why
like
hail
all
Satan.
those different origins for like
Satan didn't do
AIDS.
that. Satan didn't do it.
Yeah, like
Hail Satan.
like one of the most disgusting things I heard was like a pastor openly, at least he was honest about his feelings, say that like AIDS was made to punish the gays.
Yeah.
Which is like, are you fucking insane? I mean, he is, but are you fucking
He's a pastor.
insane?
No, he's fucking
Like-
little boys. Come on.
Like.
A twofer. Come on.
I mean, my thing is like with the word conservative, I learned that there's conservative now to me has turned into aggressive traditionalist.
Yes.
And
good point.
traditionalism,
Dude, conservative at its root just means conservative values, traditional values.
Yes.
I mean, that's what it
Which-
is.
having it as a value is one thing, but to be aggressive with your traditionalism, not knowing
Yeah.
the problem with traditionalism by saying this is the way things are, this is the way things that used to be, like it's sort of like believing somebody saying, hey, this magical herb worked 500 years ago and it's the secret to life. Then why are those people dead? Using that magical herb. It's old. It worked then. It doesn't work now.
Because,
They didn't have
Joaquin,
healthcare then.
Because Jesus.
It just had to be.
And for people to ignore that, for them to ignore that, going, well, traditionally gays were dangerous. Why?
Yeah.
So just living unhappy with a frustrated closeted gay husband, beating his wife, not having any relationship with his kids, going to bathhouses just to get that frustration out.
Yeah.
Like that's okay. Traditionally, that's okay. That's the America we want to go back to.
No,
we want to go. That's the
well,
one. That's
come
the
on.
great again time.
Let's make
because
America
that's still
great
the
again.
same time. That's that same time period.
I told you that's what Jordan Klepper does all the time. When was America great? Back in the 50s. Oh, so when black people couldn't use the bathrooms and white people could.
Oh my god, dude! Good
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Good point. Freaking, cause if I can, cause with my mother, she was born in the '60s, and she has a lot of boomer tendencies and beliefs, and she loves to romanticize the '60s and '70s. Oh, things were so peaceful back then.
For her.
Oh my god, I miss it. Exactly. Thank you. It's very
her.
selfish, right? But then
Yes.
if we go back, it's like no, there was still plenty of bigotry happening, worse than what is happening now, and people still had to fight more. Even to the point, if we look at at things like Stonewall, for example, like that, I was like '60s if I'm not mistaken, freaking.
Yep.
And like you had to be really deathly afraid to be gay or trans out in public.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, well, because
yeah.
they would do the I forget what they called them. Where
Russia's a huge thing with
they
that now.
literally just go to the bars and pull everybody out, and not only would they be in trouble, with the law, their social life would be destroyed.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was it? I can't remember. I think this might have been part of the lavender scare that you were talking about, but there was this big police thing where they were going around trying to catch gay, just catch gay people.
100% part of it.
And
Yes.
like there was like cops who were like undercover going to like stalls and
Yeah.
getting politicians. It was definitely part of that.
Why do police like to waste their time on things that don't
Because
matter?
police literally were made for that reason.
And they
They
have
I mean,
were
quotas.
police. Their
there's, like-
edict is not protecting and serving people.
But like, there's murders and rapes and stuff that that they could help with. But why do they spend their time doing dumb shit that doesn't matter?
Look, I know a lot of people think it's super morbid to like true crime. They think it's morbid to like true crime.
I don't think it's
But
morbid.
most true crime stories I've noticed all start with, well, the police didn't do their fucking jobs.
Yeah,
It's crazy how
they all
often
start
that
like
is the case.
They all start like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, you can literally hand them information on a insane pedophile on a silver platter and nothing will get done.
Yeah.
And if something does get done, it takes about 10 goddamn years and 20 victims later.
Well, I mean, we've talked on here multiple times about the predator poachers, and even when they do catch folks that are legitimately dangerous, a lot of times the police are just like, yeah, we're not going to do anything. So,
Yeah.
Not that I
So
condone
it's-
them, but,
But they will galvanize when like there's a trans protest.
Oh my
or,
god, yeah. Or Black Lives Matter
or-
protests even.
Yeah, or if there's hell, if they're swatting, they get real energetic when they swat.
Oh yeah.
And
well, that's
for
because
me,
they get
what's-
to bring out the big machine guns, man.
Yeah, and mind you, when I mention like trans rights, black rights, anybody's rights really, any POC, any of that stuff.
Not me. I don't
Yeah.
get any rights.
Poor
Yeah, fuck you.
like when I say poor white people, I mean the average white person.
honestly
are part of all of those groups.
Yes, definitely.
Because we aren't separate, despite what they want. The autonomous they, or eponymous, or however the words is, they want us to
One of
feel.
those is
Media
right.
pushes that. The discourse pushes that all the time. You can so easily find, still today, even though years and years have passed, people going, men are like this, women are like this. Why? We have all this information out here. We found out that technically all human beings start off female anyway.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I meant.
they're
Gender
like-
norms in general, like people's rigidity with them, and like thinking that they have to be a certain way is so bizarre to me at this point.
Yeah. It sounds very conservative to me.
It's incredibly conservative, and it's also just like it's transgressive. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't.
Well, honestly, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, are you sure?
Yeah,
Yes,
Okay,
go.
okay, I appreciate you. So yes,
Don't
go.
be shitty, Joaquin.
Oh my god!
Don't be
I'm
shitty.
like that with everybody. Shut up.
Oh yes, he discriminates equally, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daddy.
I'm gonna
and
get a
basically-
cattle prod.
Oh,
We
God.
just talked about this the other day.
Oh,
and I-
that hurt.
He and I literally had a
Oh, you
discussion
froze
about this
now.
the other
Oh, no,
day.
too
I
much
think when we were
stress.
watching that
Oh.
movie because she said "daddy" in the
shit.
movie, and we were both like,
Uh-huh.
Oh no!
no.
All right, I'm back. All right, we're back.
No,
That's
we don't
that's
want
like
a woman calling us
spiked
daddy.
kryptonite.
Ugh.
Oh.
Gotcha, bitch. Oh my
Yeah, you
God.
actually, that hurt.
Oh, I know
It
it
does.
was.
It's very. Yeah, I think she knew
Oh.
it would.
100%. Oh yeah, I'm very calculated.
Anyway,
No, she knows me well. She knows me well enough to know what hurts me.
and
God,
by
and same goes for
proxy,
you.
probably hurts me, man.
Oh my god. But here's the thing,
All
right.
though,
Anyway,
right?
go
No,
ahead.
totally. Like the thing I was gonna mention too, along with this, is that it's been crazy because how do you guys feel, right? Because I'm gonna let like preamble with this a little bit, but like, how do you guys feel about people feeling like they don't have the privilege to be able to stay ignorant when it comes to politics? Because, for example, in a situation like mine, being a trans woman, right, specifically, it's a thing where and one that is currently like medically transitioning in the case of taking hormone replacement therapy, which has been vital for me in terms of my mental health, in terms of allowing me to have a body that matches what I want to see in my head. So there's no longer a mismatch. The fact that there are now politicians, many of them, including Trump, who last year when he was launching his campaign, he had made a video that said that he wants to ban transgenderism, quote unquote, as if it's a fucking religion. He wants to ban transgenderism at every
What does that even
single
mean?
level.
Like
Well,
you're
that's
gonna
the
make
thing,
it not
right?
exist?
The
Like,
belief in trans people. Trans people aren't real.
Of course
Okay,
not.
you know what? I'm going to actually kind of explain
But-
what my interpretation of what that means is. And it's
Okay.
not just from hearing it. This is from what their example is. A lot of them believe that supporting trans rights and trans people is supporting delusion. They feel
Yes,
all
which-
trans
which is
people
actually-
are delusional to the core. With that
This
being
kind
the
of
case,
fits in with a question I
I
have.
feel like this about delusional people, like actual delusional people, which trust me, the fact that Trump was mentioned, he's delusional too.
he's
Is I don't want to support your delusion, which I get. And with my transition into understanding like trans people, because I didn't understand trans people. I had nothing against them, but it was kind of like always weird to like talk to a trans person because I didn't know how to react.
Yeah.
And it was just like, well, be yourself, dumbass. That's
Yeah.
really the answer. But ultimately,
how to
it
react?
was like
You just don't.
you don't. I was like, that's
don't?
for me. I sound like the old white lady that I go over to their house and they're like, "How do I? Your
Yeah,
friend
but
is
that's
black.
but
How
that's
do I
okay.
talk to her?" Like,
but that's okay
just
because
be
you acknowledge it.
yourself.
You acknowledge that though,
But
and
yeah,
you're actively trying to be better. You're not
Well,
fighting.
I don't even
That's okay.
by not actively being better. I'm just being me.
But that's what I mean.
But
Like,
ultimately, yeah.
you're
But
thinking about it.
ultimately, they feel like it is delusion hands down. So transgenderism is a literal like cult to them.
So
Where it's just like they've brainwashed each other and others into believing this about themselves.
So, well, this is what I don't get, and this was one of my questions that I don't understand, right? So, you can have somebody like Matt Walsh. Do you guys know him? Well, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
I
I
do.
am well aware
Yeah.
of that
Okay.
fucking man.
Yeah, so he's like one of the biggest pieces of shit probably in the fucking planet, right?
I don't
But
believe
you gotta-
he believes a word he says.
No, I don't know that he does, but you got a guy like him that can go on to Joe Rogan, right? And I listened to the episode because I wanted to hear the other side. because
poor
I
thing.
talked to I talk I talked to Joaquim a lot about how it's really either easy to find liberal viewpoints in good media that's well spoken, well thought out, well documented. It's hard with conservative viewpoints just because they're
Yes.
usually fucking crazy, right? When you the ones you find. I'm not saying all. I'm just saying the ones you find are usually fucking lunatics. But you got a guy like Matt Walsh who can go on Joe Rogan and talk about trans people and his whole bullshit what is a woman question like he thinks is this big gotcha, right? And have Joe Rogan be like, but then the minute he starts talking about gay rights, Joe Rogan shuts it down. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why is it that we can accept the idea that in somebody's head they can be attracted to the sex that they typically would be thought not to be? Or how do I word this to not sound stupid? Why are we okay with the idea of homosexuality and that's a thing? But when they talk about transsexual people, it's this like delusion or it's dysmorphia or it's like this fucking why can't it how are the two not able to be it's something that's in your head, like it's no different.
I don't know for sure. But one quick distinction I want to make though is that I know that like for a long time, like the main term was like transsexual. Like nowadays, in the community, we differentiate that now. So what happens is transsexuals, quote unquote, are people that actually have gotten like bottom surgery, or people who have gotten like, let's say if you're a trans man and you got like top surgery to get rid of your breasts, for example. Yeah, that would be transsexual. But now, in my case, I consider myself transgender. Because I'm someone that has still maintained all those things, but I, going about it a different way, but I'm still maintaining the parts that I was born with.
Well, thank you for correcting me.
Yeah, no worries. What do you call it? I know it came from a good place anyways. So like, it's a thing where, now to your question, it's so funny because homosexuality is more accepted for sure. But there's still this underlying ick to it.
Thank you.
Right? There's still an ick factor.
Of course, of course.
There's an otherism to it.
I don't
because
mean to
what
imply
I was
going
to say was time.
I know. But just exactly,
yeah.
like to Matt's point, right? I know that you weren't implying that there was, but it's just like I think that so many people, because how many times do I hear this, or do you guys hear this? Oh, it's 2024 now, and we've moved past that. No, we haven't. It's 2024,
and that's what I was talking about.
With anything.
That's what I was talking about at the beginning of this hill that we seem to be climbing back up again. Where things were getting more progressive and better, and now we're kind of on this hill where things are getting shitty again, and people are getting stupider again. But I just don't understand how you can think, okay, somebody's brain can be wired differently than their body or whatever is supposed to happen in that aspect. But in another aspect go, oh no, they're just delusional. Like what?
Here's the scary part. This is the scary part for them, right? Because when we talk about the big picture here, because when you start to open that Pandora's box for people, especially ones that aren't trans, right? Because we put so much value on our gender, on our social role, on what we're supposed to be doing in society to give us this guiding light, if you will. Once you start to say, hey, what if you can defy that? What if you allowed yourself to feel something different and be okay with that? What's going to happen then is that's going to open a Pandora's box where there's going to be an avalanche, because then what we're talking about is a systemic problem at that point, is a systemic question of, or if anything, an existential question, is what does it mean to be human, right? Why do we designate these roles for each other based upon what genitalia we have? Even though there's plenty of people that'll have, say, vaginas, but that act, quote unquote, more like a man, or vice versa with vagina, or like penises and feminine, yada, 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 right? It's a thing where human beings were never meant to be in a binary, in one box or another box. There is a spectrum, clearly. And we have come to accept it in certain aspects. Oh, you have tomboys. Oh, you have feminine men, yada, yada, yada. But yet when it comes to, the utter rejection of calling yourself a man or woman, or if you want to be non-binary, just be nothing at all if you want. God for fucking bid, because then that indirectly challenges people by default. And they think, oh, fuck, what the fuck do you mean? No, of course you got to stay like this. I mean, like, what else would you do? They start panicking in their fucking head, It's to
me, it's a question of why, like, I always fall back on, if you are not affecting anyone else, why can't you just do whatever the fuck you want? Why does it matter?
I mean, over the years, that has not changed about any topic ever. Because first of all, going back to Matt's question forward, is the way I feel about that is that time has pushed gays into a more of a acceptable role.
Sure.
Because our generation and a little bit before us, have been indoctrinated for years on gay people existing.
That's true.
Through TV and shows and stuff like the same thing with.
Yeah, you're talking a couple decades.
Growing up. And again, I always bring up being black because it's the easiest thing I could go with, is because you that's why the black community generally created what's called microtransactions, microaggressions. Whereas when it's not an aggression necessarily, and I don't like using the term personally, but it's just like, my son came home, it was just like, not really. It's just a small like aggression. That's really what it is. But it's usually not intended to be mean. It's usually born out of ignorance.
Oh no, I mean,
but my son came home.
Itself.
Oh, my son came home. I had twisted his hair, so he had like what looked like dreadlocks.
Yeah, we talked about
this.
Then
I took them out, and he's like, "Yeah, I like my hair big." All the kids in my school, they like touching my hair, and he's like the only black kid in his class. So I'm just like, huh. And I didn't get upset about it, but it brought me back to a time where, like, out of ignorance,
to touch someone's hair just randomly anyway. It's still a weird thing to do.
It's sort of like the Family Guy joke where Stewie was like, "Ooh, it's like a sheep." It's that, like,
oh god,
like,
yes.
It's born out of that, like, that sense of ignorance, but that shows like how it wasn't that we are better now, because you shouldn't accept somebody just touching your hair, even if especially if you don't know them like that. A little kid doing it to a little kid, fine. They don't know personal boundaries anyway. But as time goes on, it's just in our heads. And then they started commodifying gay people, making them drama, making them into characters, caricatures, to the point that actual gay people started acting like the caricatures.
Like Will and Grace?
And like, for instance, for the longest time, I had a huge problem with the Gay Pride Parade.
Really?
I didn't have a problem that it existed. I went 3 years in a row because, I have gay friends that I was supporting. But when I went there, it was like, I started getting really upset with a lot of them celebrating the stereotypes as opposed to celebrating just being an acceptable person. Dude. That's like me going, I felt like in my head, I was like, that's like me going to the Million Man March with gold chains, fried chicken and watermelon, just like Scooty Dootin' down the street. God. Nigga stuff.
See, us
like,
Irish, we have the St. Patty's Day parade, and then we all just
get blasted.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, fall right into the stereotype.
Native Americans running around with like the Redskins head, like happy. Like, for me, it seemed like they were playing up the characters, and somebody told me, it's satire. It's like, I don't think everybody in the crowd got that though.
Yeah, no,
because
not at all.
That guy walking around as the dick and balls while little kids are like around, that bothers me. And this is before I had kids. It was just like, that kind of promotes what, like, the people who don't want gay people around kids.
We've had this discussion a million times too, where you're giving them something to point at and go, that's why.
But you know what though? But here's the thing. If I can say this here, because I'm glad you guys brought this up, because of the fact that even if none of that existed, right? The dick and balls costume or anything like that. You guys know as well as I do that these people will either still try and make something up or try and misconstrue anyways, right?
100%. No, I understand that.
Right. But here's what I'm saying though, is that, like, for me, here's how I see it. I kind of don't mind some of those things, right? Yes, they definitely are like caricatures and like dramatizations and exaggerations for sure. Mm-hmm. But the way I see it is more of like a blatant fuck you. Right, it's like, you know what, we are different, and you know what, we don't mind being extravagant like this. We don't mind being upfront about our sexuality, about how we live. So you know what, fuck yourself.
I do get that. I do get that to a point, but again, being part of a society who has to constantly prove like themselves, and we were like technically character one on that, because black people, we're not African. But we constantly go back to Africa. Sorry, we're descendants, but we are literally a commodity of this country.
Yes,
we were created by this country, and so I agree with you to that, but what I'm saying, and this happens in a million different ways, when too many people don't get it, like it's sort of like making a movie that's satire, but then is liked for what it is.
Yeah.
Like that's like American History X, but actual like racists love it because they like the guy getting his head stomped in.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like it. The problem is, yes, morally, if it was in a vacuum and if it was in a storybook, absolutely, I am for it. But the very fucking problem is that there is no ending to it.
Yeah.
We go to sleep. We change our minds. We get older. We live every fucking day. We don't remember every minute of our lives. We remember things with rose-colored glasses. So then, like, a shitty time in our lives, we'll forget about it and think, oh, wow, man, 1999 was such a great time. Like, do you not remember you caught syphilis? Like, at one point? Like, it's just, that's just the way we are. And societally, like, I feel like the powers that be understand that.
Definitely.
So they're constantly pushing these things. That's why Martin Luther King only had one goddamn speech. That's why there were no like gay and trans celebrities in the past, or gay and trans builders and philosophers, because they were able to manipulate people into thinking that wasn't the case, and now they're creating these icons that are false idols, essentially.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's way too many people that are part of our groups, our various groups, that are missing the plot overall.
100%. No, you're definitely correct on that. And I think that, man, it's so funny because for me, like when I was growing up, right? Because I find that there are times where I'll get nostalgic for like, because I grew up in like the late 90s and the 2000s, right? And so a lot of parts of me are nostalgic for it. But when I really think about it, it's like, would I ever want to go back to those times? And the answer is no. Like technology was worse. Social progress was worse.
I think that's unequivocal across the
time is a flat circle.
Yeah, like honestly, like for me, the only things that I would like, I just bring it to my present, which is like the TV shows and the music. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Yep. But even that, like
Nickelback.
Fuck yes. Illness graph. What do you call it? But here's the thing I'm doing, baby. I like to pass around your balls. But
what?
Know who you are. Figure you out.
This is a ball pocket 100%. Right in the pants.
But here's the thing though, right? Is that even looking back, because I found this channel on YouTube where it's a trans woman that explores trans representation in media, especially from like the 90s and 2000s. And frankly, it was fucking garbage. Frankly, for the most part.
It's a joke.
Absolutely.
It's used as a joke. Absolutely.
Either we come out and we're represented as prostitutes, which nothing wrong with that, but the way people back then would see it, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, in the context, it was
absolutely
meant to be negative. Yeah.
Right, and then on top of that, very rarely would we get represented accurately. There would always be these like, "Oh, hi, honey, how are you?" These overly masculine.
It's always comedy.
Exactly, because we're not quote unquote real women, so we're just gonna show that. Oh, here's blatantly a man dressing in drag and fucking being like, "Oh, I'm a woman, honey," and then the characters being like, "Yeah, go fuck off, sir." You know, it's like,
You do know like how the lengths people will go to not feel uncomfortable. Like people go through some really big lengths, and I feel like people who have means and power also will go through those same lengths, because it just, for me, it seems like I never until like I had people close to me like transitioning or opening up about themselves, I never had to be uncomfortable about it. So I could say, yeah, I accept it, I don't care. But then ultimately, I never had to question myself. And I went through my phase of trying to avoid it, but it was through apathy at most.
Nice.
But these people literally are pushing it so far into like, it's weird because for a little kid, when a little kid sees a trans person, it flips their brains because kids are very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the way our society is built initially, mommy and daddy, that's it. And if there is no daddy, well, daddy leaves most of the time. Mommy's usually the one that's around.
Nailed it.
But it's always seen as like, well, that's just the way things are. Why is that boy dressed like this? Why is that girl dressed like this? And it's up to the parent to like teach it correctly. But it is initially strange, and the first reactions we generally have is either to be afraid or to laugh.
Yeah, or to be disgusted.
And disgust, I feel like, is a more nuanced feel. That's also underneath the uncomfortability.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I think that falls under there.
Because, so without the explanation, we're going to react a certain way. Well, our media pushes it where, well, no, trans people are just funny. Just by existing. Not that they're funny as in people. They're just funny just existing.
We're circus freaks.
And it's like, that is not cool. Generally because we get most of our idea of people around the world through our media.
Yeah.
So when we do that, like I grew up, people call me Steve Urkel because I speak in full sentences. Because that was their frame of reference to a nerdy black person.
Did I do that? Speaking of full sentence,
I didn't speak like him. I didn't wear glasses, suspenders, and I wasn't that. And Mom was a D&D nerd, not a science nerd. I didn't understand anything like that.
Damn straight.
Well, you didn't do experiments that was their frame of reference. Underground bunker like Steve Urkel did. Did you too have a suave counterpart?
Yeah, and I just
named
and it sucks because it made me hate that show.
Joaquin.
Look.
Joaquin.
Being a child is loving Steve Urkel. Being a man, knowing is that Carl was right the whole time about him.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Key and Peele clip with Urkel?
Yes.
That I haven't seen.
It's so good. You gotta check it out.
Well, before I forget, if I can bring this up, because I'm glad you mentioned the children here, right? Because not only are trans people as a whole elusive to most of the general public, since we're a very small minority, so most people haven't had the experience of actually talking to one, or at least knowingly, because there's plenty of trans people that are like fucking stealth, and sometimes you just would never know, right? And God bless them. Freaking, it's a thing where when we talk about trans youth, this is the hot button issue that conservatives love to bring up and love to catapult their bigotry off of, because they lie and they say, oh, we're chopping off 15-year-old girls' breasts, or
that was Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh specifically said that shit.
Did.
I remember.
He said that actually on Rogan, and Rogan was like, "Really? It's that big a number?" And then they looked it up, and it was like, "No, that didn't happen at all."
No. Like there was like one example.
I hate that. I've raged about how much I hate that guy multiple times on this podcast, but I'll just say it again. I fucking hate that guy.
Smug, smug. If you can lie and be smug at the same time,
I'm going to talk like a real manly man voice, and I know everything about everything.
With his glue-on beard.
Oh my god, his glue-on beard, bro. Holy shit.
Beard. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Rin.
You're totally fine. What is this, a podcast? God.
I know.
So freaking disgusting. So here's the thing: is that have you guys ever met, at least knowingly? Have you ever knowingly met a trans kid before? Because I have.
Not knowingly.
I
have.
Not knowingly, like pretty sure, but not knowingly. No.
Yeah, I think it's more like that.
Like, I'm pretty sure.
Like, it's not my business to ask the kid.
Right, exactly. Nobody came out and said to me,
gender
yes.
Is.
Yeah, exactly. Same. That's the situation I would say, yes.
Got you. Okay.
Like, I have a friend who has a child who I believe probably is, definitely
same.
Seems to be going in that route. But I'm not one to just ask, I don't feel comfortable just saying like, hey, is your child trans? Because I feel like that's imposing and asking information that's not my business.
It's their business.
Right. And to be clear, like normally any decent person would have just come out and asked that. Like usually it would be a thing that maybe like the parent would confide in you or something like that. They trust you enough to talk about the issue, more so
Absolutely.
like that for sure.
That's not my place.
Right.
Look, if the kids are all getting along, it doesn't really matter in my opinion.
Exactly.
Right. So here's why I bring this up. Because the one thing that is lacking in this entire conversation, not with us, but like politically, especially with conservatives, on purpose, is empathy. There is no form of empathy involved at all in this conversation because
zero.
And and Joaquin, like I know so many conversations that we've had about like the struggles that come with this journey that I've partaken in, and
I can only imagine.
And like it's the kind of thing where you could lose everything. If you make this decision, you can lose your friends, family, job. Hell, your life could even be threatened. You could even end up killing yourself depending on how depressed you get. and if,
Right.
if everyone rejects you and shit.
The amount of societal pressure is immense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so for
like-
me, I got very lucky that when I came out, that I chose, number one, the right friends, because none of my friends had an issue with it at all. Freaking, and number two, I'm lucky that I was in a state that recognized the validity of people like me, right? So I was
Yeah.
able to do it without too much fear of being killed, but definitely with the fear of being harassed, which definitely happened. But that's an aside. But for the trans kids, for really fast, I had the fortune of meeting one for the first time knowingly last year, and the way I found out was I used to work in retail, and as one point, as I was like guiding the guests down whenever to go to the fucking checkout area, there were these two little girls that came up. They were at least like 13 probably, and one of them asked me, they're like, "Excuse me, are you trans?" And me being a smart ass, because at this point I'm used to being like interrogated and whatever, I was like, "What if I said no?" Okay, and like, and then, and then and then she was just like, "Oh, I wouldn't care." She said, "Well, I'm trans," and I was like, "Oh, honey," I said, "Okay." I
Very
said,
brave kid.
yeah, and so I said, "You know what? I am too." I said, "All right," because like with most trans people, we have this like this ability to like uniquely clock each other. Especially when you're around enough trans people and you've seen enough trans people, you can become easierly. Yeah, that's a word. Easierly clock them.
Easierly.
Yeah,
Yep.
you guy
Easierly.
nailed it. So easierly, bro. Hell yeah. Look at this bad grammar. And so fucking, so I was able to talk to her for a bit, and it was such an interesting experience because what these assholes miss on purpose is they miss just how normal the life is in most respects for a trans child. Like one that is allowed to actually express themselves, and to actually go that next step and get on puberty blockers so they don't have to experience, a male puberty or a female puberty, things that have irreversible changes, right? And that can cause someone tremendous strife. And there's plenty of trans people that knew from a very young age, whether it be in their single digits or even like preteens, that yeah, something was different. And it's a thing where talking to this little girl, it was so nice to see how happy she was. And when I asked her, I'm like, "Hey, so like, how does it kind of like feel for you? Like, has your transition been like a big deal for you?" Or whatever I said, there was something along that vein. And she goes, "It just is. I did it, and then here I am." I'm like, "God bless you. Holy
Yeah.
fuck!" I said, "I envy you. I wish I can get there. Now I am." But at the time, because transitioning becomes your whole life, you know.
I can imagine.
Which, I mean, like as a parent, like I completely get that. For me as a parent, I'm not fully there comfortably, but I am at a point where it's like, well, we'll go to a therapist. We'll go to, we'll not like to like really find out what would help you, because like with my wife and I, we're just like, we don't even want our kids to even consider getting a tattoos until they're old enough to like really make somewhat sound decisions.
Yeah.
Because as an adult, we don't always make the best decisions, but not to the point of like, we're not going to say, no, you can't dress how you want. You can't feel the way you feel. Invalidating your kid is probably one of the worst fucking things you can do.
100%.
Sure.
To them as a individual. And you don't have to like give them gold stars and say that they're going to win all the time. No, if they fucking lose, they fucking lose. You make fun of them, you play around, whatnot, but in the end, you don't invalidate them existing as a person at the very bare minimum. And a lot of conservatives do that to their kids if they don't live up to their expectations. And so there's a kid at Taekwondo. I like his dad. He's really cool, and he's a really good martial artist.
Oh my god,
but
Taekwondo
his dad,
again?
Not the same. Well, it's a different.
Oh, different kid.
These are my
Okay.
social interactions.
Okay, different kid.
These are
Okay.
my social
I
interactions.
thought we were going to talk about the same kid again.
No, but his dad pushes him way too hard. And his son has been caught multiple times crying because he can't live up to that expectation.
Oh, jeez.
And I've seen multiple times where kids break and burn out. And once they burn out, that's it. And now imagining that your existence, your sheer existence, your gender existence is hinged on living up to your parents' expectations.
Yes.
Just you being
funny?
even remotely happy is fucking painfully insane. So you don't have to. I don't even know enough about puberty blockers to say that I'm comfortable with it, but I am willing to say
I can educate if you want.
let's go talk to doctors and therapists and psychiatrists and put as much effort as we can to understand it together.
Yeah. And like, and if I may, like, would you care if I explain a little bit about like how the blockers would work in the process?
I mean, it would be a suggestion, but sure.
Yeah. Like, well, how dare you? Fuck off, liberal. And so
Well, I mean, you're not a doctor, but I'm just saying.
right, but from the research that I've done from actual
Yeah.
like doctors and people that have gone through the process, basically.
Yeah.
And so like it's a thing where, you know, once a child starts to question, you know, their gender, the parent has the opportunity then to seek the counsel of, say, also the therapist, psychiatrist, and also a doctor. Right. And what would happen then is the child would go to the therapist, you know, and or psychologist and talk for a while, and they would start documenting things, information about the child, communicate that with the parents, right? And then if the point comes after like a long period of time that, hey, we find that after, let's say, a year or two, for example, of talking with the child, that we feel that, you know, going on puberty blockers would be a benefit here. So the cool thing with puberty blockers is that most of the things that get stopped are reversible and can happen again. The only things that I've really found that could potentially be impacted is maybe, say, height, potentially bone density, potentially, what do you call it, and potentially, let's say, if you were someone that was born with, say, male genitalia, you know, you may lose out on some size potentially, but everything else can go back to the engines can get running again once you stop. And so what happens then is you can do that. So once you decide to make that decision to stop for a while, you can continue, and then also socially confirming or affirming your child, allowing them to go by their preferred name and pronouns, allowing them to dress how they want to dress, and all these different things, allowing them to actually get their feet wet, fully immerse themselves in this, and see how it feels for them. Document that as well. And this is like a years long process, right?
It's like a gender Rumspringa.
I'm not sure what that word means, but yes, definitely.
Oh, you don't know what Rumspringa is? It's
No.
when Amish kids go out into the real world and they can decide to stay out in the real world or come back to the Amish community.
I'm here for it. Yes, definitely. What do you call it? So that's the thing. And then, you know, then you can introduce like hormones into the matter as well. And so now when it comes to hormones, some of those things cannot be reversed. Like, for example, with me on estrogen, I was able to grow breasts. How are you? But the thing is that they're there. Once they're there, they're there.
They're there.
You know, exactly.
It's only anything short of surgery.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
No.
I agree. I ended up I ended up researching a little bit because I am interested, because I have to, you know, one, I'm raising a functional adults, and I'm trying to raise functional adults, and also just, you know, I wanted to know more about it because I do care, you know, about my trans friends. So I ended up finding myself like stuck in this kind of wave of like trying to find who's I'm a misanthrope, so I don't like people. I think people are awful. And I think it's born out of me caring about people. So I always try to find the worst in every group. And I find out that most of them are all fighting each other.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the worst people that we know got us together, and then we just kind of like got stuck.
I'm here for it.
And then he became my second girlfriend.
Hey.
I'm on the same page as Joaquin as far as like with my kids. I think I'd handle it when I get to it. But as far as, you know, government coming in and trying to ban gender affirming care and having a say,
fuck that.
It's like it.
They already took
to
it away
basically
from
say
women.
like we're just going to ignore it. That's what you're going to do. You're going to ignore it. Is just insane to me. I don't think there's a single parent out there that would say that they don't want their child to be empathetic and kind.
Mm-hmm.
So when they then, you know, approach these things at these weird angles and don't teach their kids to be empathetic and kind in all situations, whether that's, you know, at school, at home, out in the wild, just approaching normal people, it's like, it's just crazy to me because it's such a double standard. I don't understand it at all. You know, I try to teach my kids to just approach everything with empathy and kindness. Like, approach every situation that way to start. That's where your best, the best way to go.
Speaking of, I have a question for both of you, since the title of our episode is Trans Reformers. Yeah, is your takes on and you let out all the rage you can if you can, but on Reformation camps.
Oh,
Jesus
anything about them? Christ.
Or
oh no, oh man.
Well, aren't they illegal?
They used to
now?
be just. So
in New York State, I believe
are
they're illegal.
by any other name, if that makes sense. Like, it is illegal, and it's been very recent that they've become illegal. Yeah. But it's by any other name.
So I have a funny story about conversion camps in New York State. They did a vote in the assembly, and one of my friends is actually yours probably too, assemblyman, and they did a vote, and he was the only dissenting vote.
Really?
Yeah, and I called them and I was like, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" I was like, "Who are you trying to appeal to?" Like,
I gotta find out who this is afterward.
I'll tell you. But yeah. I after I saw it, I had to call him, and I was just like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, are you out of your mind? Like, why would you be the one?" Like, I get but I get going along with your party, like your party, all your fellow party.
Like, you didn't even care. It's not an issue that bothers you.
You just decided to go against everybody and be the only one that was like, no, I'm okay with these. Like, what the fuck were you thinking? Anyway,
because that's anti-human.
Yes,
Rin.
Yeah, I think that, of course, I am vehemently against any form of like conversion camp or therapy, of course, but I find that while I've been fortunate enough to not experience having to be put in one, I think just kind of, I think back in the 2000s, just hearing stories of kids that were forced to go to these gay conversion, camps, and just how much they were made to feel like what was in them was some sort of like parasite or some sort of like cancer that had to be taken out of them.
Also, really good idea, just getting a bunch of young gay guys together and saying, hey, you're going to all go camp together.
They're so fucking stupid.
Totally
I'm
gonna
wait until Ren's done because I did have a rant about it.
I'd be like, I'll go.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's a fun time.
All you can eat buffet here.
And I know.
Sausage party, literally.
Anyway, go
that's
ahead.
what I'm saying.
Sorry, continue.
My god, no, you're totally fine. So I find that, like, so for example, so speaking of like religion here and with like the gays, like quick little side note on it. I recently caught my mother watching a YouTube video. It was these two Catholic priests, are already two pedophiles already, two pedophiles talking with each other about transgenderism, and
what do they know about it?
Absolutely fucking nothing. But transgenderism and its ties to Satanism. So
because it has the word ism in it.
100%,
and they both don't exist.
Oh, that's what it is.
Right, but it gets deeper. It gets deeper than that. It gets more fucking stupid. So what happens is
how?
I shall explain, my young liberal friend. And so what happens is that
we were called libs.
Hell yeah, I forget. I called Matt a lib the entire time.
Bryn loves calling me a lib. She loves it.
It was great.
It's basically my name now.
Hell yeah. But he came up as fast as one, would. So, hey, it fits, right? Nah, freaking. Nailed it. No.
Bro, what a cuck.
Bro, man, you're a Cookmaster Lord 69. But what happens is that, they said, you two are familiar with the Baphomet, right? The god of death?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. Yep.
And they've seen the image where he has a hand up like this, he has the titties, and he has male genitalia, right?
And it's a goat. So exactly. It's not even human, but yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So what happens is that these priests use that picture as a reference point to be like,
holy shit.
Yeah. They're like, well, we
see. You so
That's
fucking
amazing.
Stupid.
That's amazing.
100%.
Makes me happy in a bad way.
Me too, honestly. That's one that has a Baphomet tattoo, which is not what it's there for, but it's just ironic. And so I'm like, yes, it is the trans Satan tramp stamp, 100%. No, but like,
see, finding patterns and shit that's not connected.
I got my upside down cross.
Woo! Fucking hell. But here's the thing with that is, I'm
a son of Ham,
as you should be.
Ham.
And so Ham.
Abraham. King John.
John Ham.
John Hancock.
No, John Ham.
That's Mad
No.
Men,
What's it? Something in Goliath.
David and Goliath.
David.
David
King
yeah.
David had 2 sons. One was cursed. And Ham was the cursed son, and his children were going to have dark skin and be slaves to the other son.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
is that
Son
where
of
it came
Ham.
from? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jesus
That
Christ.
makes sense.
Hamm.
Oh, but
Makes sense.
perfect.
I mean, it was in
perfect.
the Bible. It must be true.
Well, 100%.
Right?
I mean, duh. Fucking
That's
duh.
why.
It's-
Well, it was used as propaganda to say that's why black people are slaves to white people.
There we go.
Gotcha. Oh, of course. It makes sense.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm
Yeah.
glad you
It's
mentioned
in a
that
book.
because,
It's in a book.
well, I'm glad you mentioned this because, so you guys have watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, correct? Or at least
Yeah.
half of it?
Yeah, every season.
Okay.
The one character, I'm going to use the word because that's what they call her in the show, because they don't know her real name and she doesn't have a real name technically.
The tranny.
But Mac dated the tranny. That's what they called her.
Yes.
Right.
Different
And
times.
she's literally no, it's not even different times. That was a point. That was the point.
I know.
Because she is. I'm
How
sorry.
long ago was that,
I'm
though?
sorry to cut off your point. I love Always Sunny. It was early 2000s.
Well, it's
Okay,
going to tie
yeah.
into
When
that.
I think when that season, it was season 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. So it was really
Because it was
early.
when Dee got pregnant.
Right. Yeah, it was really early in.
And I'm sorry. Go on. I'll say what I was gonna say. Sorry.
No, because
I
Yeah,
love
we,
that show.
we still
No.
have a couple questions we got to get to too. So
100%. All right, so
we
then
only,
I'll,
we only
I'll
have
bring...
like 20 minutes left. So we got to. Yeah,
Disgusting.
we got. I know.
Okay.
Kids.
So,
God damn it.
So I think the best I know. So I think the best way to end this then with the Always Sunny reference is that there was an episode then, I forget what the guy's name was, that the white guy that wanted to date the trans woman, Mac. So where he ends up trying to, like, you know, he goes to the gym and finds her with her soon-to-be husband, right, who's black,
Mhm.
and freaking is
Yep.
like, oh, well, in the Bible it says this, and you guys are engaging in a homosexual marriage. And the guy goes, oh, yes, got you. Okay, allow me to see that book, got you. He finds a page, and he's just like, I also see here that it talks about how you can beat your slave, how much to pay for a slave, and on yada, 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 yada. So are you saying that because this book says that freaking I should be beaten down? And that I should be paid
And as long
for
as
it?
I get up the next day, it's okay.
Exactly. And you're like, oh, well, you know, you know.
Well, no, there's preachers right now trying to say, well, God wasn't okay with slavery, but he just needed time to, like, you know, move things around and get.
He's
things...
very
Shut
busy.
The fuck up.
He's
he
very
gave the rules
busy
for slavery. But on that note, the reason I
motherfucker created the universe in 6 days, but he's very busy.
Yeah,
Yes.
she is the only character. Her and her husband are the only characters in the Always Sunny in Philadelphia characters roster to have a happy ending.
Yeah.
They are the only ones.
Yeah, I think you're right.
She's the only reoccurring character to have a happy ending.
And plus,
I
I love
think
the
you're
fact that, like, I love the fact that whenever she is made fun of and treated with such hatred and bigotry, that the show makes it a point to show how ridiculous the bigots are
Yep.
for doing
Yeah.
that.
It just
You know?
I
we
think
froze.
he froze.
Yeah,
Oh,
for a
shit.
second there, it'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Say last thing you said again.
Okay, I'm back. So basically, what I was saying was that I just love that how whenever there is an interaction, you know, like with the trans woman character, is that whenever she's treated like shit, the show makes it a point to show how ridiculous the bigots are and how hypocritical they are, how awful they are for doing that
Right.
kind of thing in the first place. And for a
Mhm.
show that came out
And
back
then
in the
she
2000s,
just has to ignore it because they were too stupid to. They had to ignore it, and again, she was the most level-headed character in the episode she was in. She was level-headed. Yeah, she was dating Mac for a little bit, but she wasn't going to wait around for the idiot either.
and beautiful as fuck too. Like what was it when they first
Oh yeah,
introduced her?
I love the actress, but
Was
I
it-
love
who
the
was it?
character. She was in. I think she was in White Chicks as well. She was one of the mean girls in White Chicks.
Oh, I don't know.
Can't think of her
I'm not
name
gonna
right
know.
Yeah, I
based
think
on
I'm thinking like I'll end it on this, and then we're gonna do questions.
But-
my favorite scene, I think, with her, if I may, is like when Mac like meets her at the bar or whatever, and it's just like, wait, he's informed that, you know, that girl over there is a quote unquote tranny.
Got
And
himself
so-
informed just to be wrong.
Exactly. So
Sorry.
you're fine. So he goes over there, and he's like, wait, is that a dick in your pants? And she's like, yeah. I love how casual that answer was, because there's nothing wrong with that.
because that's it.
So yeah, a girl with a dick is hot.
Brittany Daniels, the actress.
Yeah, but anyway, so there's my piece on that.
And her name. She did have a name. I'm sorry. Her name is Carmen.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Her name is Carmen,
Nailed it.
and it's such a great character.
So great.
I love Always Sunny. Always Sunny literally does the thing where, like, you're not gonna. you're not supposed to sympathize with any of the characters. They're all terrible.
So interesting.
And you still do because that's how human nature is. Like, Charlie is my favorite character, but he's terrible.
Yeah.
And gross. Matt, you're muted.
Shit. Oh no.
How'd I do that? That's weird.
I don't know, but I thought you were talking to like somebody off.
No, I was talking to you. I'm just stupid. All right, it's time for some mail.
But your next question.
Once in a while, we receive some mail, and it comes to us in the mail. Sometimes we will read the mail for you. So listen, cause here comes the mail.
It's also way too long, but I don't care. All right, so a couple
Joaquin, was that your voice?
Here. No, me.
That was all Matt.
All right, go ahead. 10 out of 10.
I sent you a couple of these, but there's an extra one. So the first one is from Sarah. Sarah asks, what's the most stereotypical egg thing about you that you now realize was totally obvious? An egg is a queer community term for trans or non-binary who still believe they are cis, often despite showing many signs that are common among many trans people. For example, many young men who really got into Fallout New Vegas are now adult women.
That isn't. I don't know where it comes from though. I never played it before.
That did not happen to me.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. So I'll have to do more research into that.
It's such a good game.
I heard that. I gotta fucking play it.
I didn't care for Fallout.
Well, how dare you?
I like New Vegas. New Vegas was really good.
Your mom's really good. Actually,
burn.
Actually, no. We discussed. Actually, no. But
she's the worst.
Exactly.
She's the worst,
yeah, nailed it. So was mine. Hey, but nailed it. So basically, all right, egg behavior. Okay, I love this fucking term. So I think for me, I was talking about one yesterday with my friend. It was like, for years, I kept romanticizing like what kind of girl I wanted to like date and actually be in a relationship with. I was like, oh no, she has to, like be, she was a gamer, she was quirky, she was like, but also smart, but also sensitive, but also had like long black hair. It'd be so fucking awesome. She was goth as well. And I kept going. And then next thing you knew, I come full circle now and I'm like, oh fuck.
I've become the girl I've
always
wanted to date.
I have become the girlfriend. I became the girlfriend unironically. And fucking, it's just so funny how that never clicked with me.
Do you think that's typical? Or is that unique to you? Yeah.
I think that's typical, definitely. And like, I think I can give one more if you want to do a little bonus content.
Go for it.
Another one was, I always tell this story. I was like 11, 12 years old in a Walmart. My mom let me walk around by myself. And out of nowhere, I just got this urge to want to like walk around with like my hands like this, like the little T-Rex arms that some women do back in the day.
I do that.
A little poshy shit. And so like, and I remember just being like, hey ma, can I walk like this? And she goes, fuck no. Only girls do that. You're a boy. You don't do that. Okay. And so,
your mom really had. You sure your mom wasn't trans? Like, it's such a deep voice.
Wait, was your mom the lead singer of Death Clock? Was she Nathan Explosion?
Yeah,
Nathan Explosion.
My mom never voice trained.
Long black hair.
Yeah, she never voice trained. No.
Your mom was Nathan Explosion.
Oh.
I just want you to know, honey, I love you. It's okay.
There's also mail.
I can't even do it anymore.
Everybody else eat the Cheetos!
Oh, you nailed it. Fuck. So there we go.
I'm not gonna attempt a Swedish accent. Sorry, I'm not gonna do it.
No, don't embarrass yourself.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
Svizgar.
I can't do it for the first
I love
time.
Death Clock.
Yeah, Death Clock's amazing. Anyway,
unironically
didn't they just have a new
love that
movie
band.
come out?
Yes, they did.
And I did not watch it
I
yet.
see it.
Wait, did you have more on that question, or that was it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the
Okay.
bonus one was the second one.
Right. Okay. I got a question from Gina, and this is one I wasn't sure about. Did you? I'll read it. Maybe this is common knowledge for some, but not me. So I've been wondering whether trans women who have had top surgery but not bottom surgery still have the ability and or desire to use their bottom parts. Asking for a greedy friend who is definitely not me. I guess
All
I
right.
could. Go ahead.
So
Hey.
basically, what this person's saying is that the top surgery in terms of trans women is getting basically bigger breasts, right? So they can be more gender affirming for themselves,
Right.
and then also getting rid of the genitalia of the. Okay, first of all, the penis doesn't get cut off; it gets inverted. Nailed it.
Right.
To create a vagina. So that's that thing there.
Mhm.
So I would say that I know plenty of trans women and have like watched videos of plenty of trans women who have had bottom surgery that can still not only have a desire to still have like sex and still feel pleasure. But if they use that area, sometimes they can get great feelings and sensations. Sometimes they can't, depending on if the surgeon botched the fucking surgery.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, which happens a lot,
It's-
unfortunately. And
Yeah,
so
that's very.
like,
Is it just because it's not? There's not enough history to know exactly what how to do it properly. Is it just the doctors aren't well educated enough?
the doctors, it's more issue with the doctors.
Okay.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think it's between money, doctors. It's just like, because if people don't fund gender affirming care as much as they should,
of course not.
regardless,
100%.
and so it's a mess all the way around.
Definitely. And
Because humans are modular, we adapt to everything.
True.
definitely.
So
Oh yeah, no, but for sure. So like now for the trans women that still want to receive penetration but they can't feel anything in that in that spot where the vagina is now, they usually resort to anal. A lot of them do, not all, but a lot of them do, to get that done. So yeah, there still is a desire. Now for me, I still want to keep my male genitalia, but for me, like it's so funny because I kind of look at it as more of a feminine part now, because hey, it's attached to a woman. I'm a
Right.
woman, and I'm like, you know what? Now it is a woman part for me. I'm a woman that happens to have a dick.
That is.
I mean, the separation. I'm sorry, go on, Matt.
No, I was just gonna say that's a really good way of looking at it.
Yeah, because for me, like the way it's instantly started making sense when I didn't marry the idea of man, woman, male, female.
Yeah.
Once I said, oh, they aren't the same word. That's why, because English has a bunch of the same word meaning the same thing. This isn't the case.
That goes back to.
So you could.
Sorry.
Because one is based on gender, the other is based on sex, and actually, Rin helped me understand that.
Right.
Like clarify the thought.
Well, that
I was like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, that actually categorically makes sense.
Well, that to me is why the what is a woman question is so fucking stupid.
Yes,
I mean,
because everyone's
gender
is
a social construct.
So, like, shut
Like,
the fuck up,
we
Matt Walsh.
have a million of those.
You dumb fuck.
And mind you,
Aha!
when people say
Gotcha! Ha
X
ha!
or
Oh, sorry.
X, Y, or Z
Gotcha.
is a
Gotcha.
social construct. When people
I
saying
got you
like
with that
X,
one,
Y, Z is a social construct, you keep interrupting that portion of what I'm saying.
Blah, 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 blah,
Every
blah,
time.
blah, 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 blah.
I hate you two.
All right, go.
You two together,
I'm done.
I'll never do this again.
Be quiet. Come.
Nope, because you're going to start doing it as soon as I talk. I'm done. No, I'm done. I'm going to shut up for the rest of the episode. You only have a few more minutes.
No!
left.
All right,
I'm gonna shut up.
I got one more question from Ed. Does it bother you when you are fetishized? He says, unfortunately, there's nothing more woman than being an object to a man.
So it's so funny because Joaquin's reaction there was justified because of the fact that I had just had a long conversation with him just a few days ago about this very thing.
Oh, really?
And yeah, unfortunately. And so like it's a thing where, because you would think that, me having lived life presenting as male for so long, that I would have some special insight. And in some ways, sure, but being on the other side of that, being actually the one that's being pursued and actually lusted after, which I've never had to deal with before in my life. That's a very different dynamic. And so I found that, like there were these guys that would come in and that would try and, gas me up. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. This and that. Oh my God, you're awesome woman, yada, yada, yada. And I would feel so affirmed and like, yay, oh my God, I'm a woman. But then what happens though? But then what happens is then they see those vulnerabilities and then all they want out of you is to see you naked. They want to use you as an experiment, as a transaction, basically. And when it comes time to actually like get something serious with you, like go on a date with you or anything like that, they back away. Oh, they don't have the time, yada, yada, yada. But they'll fucking add you on Snapchat and do all these fucking, conversations with you where they get to see your body and you get to see their mediocre dick and fucking hairy body. Fucking, and fucking the shit gets deleted like it never fucking happened in the first place. So yeah, it feels like absolute shit and garbage. And it's
Which is...
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that sounds like one of those really bad societal echoes, like for like a man stereotype, because too many guys, like we dealing, like, it's again those guys that lost the plot and now they're living up to being that kind of shitty person and not being okay with themselves, but not wanting to talk about it, not wanting to work on it. Instead, they let out that frustration or that question, that curiosity by jacking off to your existence.
Right. Exactly. And I think what's interesting is I think that one of the main reasons that I theorize that I'm actually able to experience these kinds of things is because generally speaking, I pass. And so I think in these guys' minds that they can kind of picture that and be like, all right, well, at least she looks like one, fucking, so let me just
Mm-hmm.
experiment, dip my toes into this a little bit. But God knows if I still wasn't passing, if I was still early in my transition, no, it would be like, ugh, disgusting. Fucking, they wouldn't even bother. It was like nothing. But then once I started to post more lewd photos as my profile picture, oh, the men started coming, literally and figuratively. Oh my God, fucking, it was disgusting.
Sticky
Ugh,
keys.
yeah.
The whole time.
So unironically, this is gender
Like a
affirming
waterproof
for
keyboard.
me, basically.
Yeah.
And so unironically, this is gender affirming for me, but in a really
Oh,
shitty
jeez.
way, because your average
Yeah.
woman experiences this.
And mind you, when I've argued the male female argument, men aren't always like this and women are generalizing men, but what I've also noticed is that it's, again, not in a vacuum. There are shitty things that do need to be talked about, especially when you're talking about online. Online, everybody's emboldened to be the shittiest version of
Oh
themselves.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
And
true.
they don't have to and they don't have to think about what they're doing when they're not face to face with somebody, because very when you're face to face and somebody does something shitty, they have to make the choice to double down, where it's not even a second thought online. You're just doing it to do it.
Mhm.
Oh man, I was just trolling, blah 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 blah. But you just went out of your way to just piss off 30-something people
You're just
over
sensitive.
a cat video. Well, yeah, just
Snowflake.
no,
Snowflake.
you're just being a piece of shit. It's okay. And the thing is also they just responded to you. You put out that energy, you got it back, and you can't handle it, so you're going to be a piece of shit about
That's
it.
the thing. And
And
go ahead.
sexually, it's the same thing.
Yeah, and the worst part, and obviously not gonna name any names or anything like that, is all will be anonymous. But the fact that people that are dudes that I know personally, that's the crazy part. That doesn't get talked about a lot.
That shocked me. That shocked me.
Yeah, where this phenomenon where you'll have some trans women will have male friends that will end up building an attraction towards them, and will begin to kind of become, some of them can become more handsy. Like, for example, when I started to get more of a sex appeal and more curves, yada yada yada, I would have some of my male friends that would get a little bit more adventurous whenever they would hug me. They would go more for my waist, and then when they would separate from the hug, their hands would just so happen to brush against my waist.
Yep. Instead of actually just hugging you.
That's just creepy behavior in general.
Yes,
Yeah.
honestly. And so at first, in some really sick way, I was like, oh shit, I'm actually being lusted after. I'm actually being seen as something to be sought after and desired, right? But
Right.
very quickly, as I started to learn more of these things, I'm like, oh wait, no, this is actually really shit and disgusting, and I feel disgusting when this happens.
See, I also feel, and this is going to sound kind of bad, but I think maybe this could be a good discussion.
Sure.
Is that a lot of the guys not understanding that, biologically, we do desire people.
Yes.
And men generally aren't, we don't care. Generally, if we find it even remote, it as in the object of our desire, not saying the women are objects, but just putting it in
Definitely.
a
Yeah,
blank,
sure
You're
you're
not wrong.
not.
case.
Sure you're
It's just
not.
that you can keep your eyes on me all you want. You'll never get this.
Nailed it.
I will one day.
No,
One day when you least expect it. Oh, that sounds kind of
he's gonna be
rapey.
one day I'm just gonna wake up. He's gonna be like, "Hello, hot chocolate."
Unironically, yes,
I
Daddy.
told you.
Yeah.
Ah! Okay, that's it.
So-
That's it.
but
Finish
overall,
up.
guys do, because I even growing up, I realized I was doing that. I just pulled myself away from being able to do that. But I notice it is just a God thing guys do. We're a little bit softer with women we even remotely attracted to. And it's
Yes.
not that many that we aren't attracted to. Dudes can have sex with women they hate.
Yeah.
It's
It's
true.
just happens. So it's more so being able to recognize it and curb it. Not just, I don't believe, because a lot of women tell men to stop, but it's like, you're telling me to stop being me. I can't do that. What I can do is be respectful of you despite how I feel. There's a difference between those two.
Mhm.
Because I've never been okay with telling somebody how they should be.
Right, but at the same time,
because you're always going to get pushback.
Right, that is fair, but I think like at the same time, like very very quickly, I was watching 90 Day Fiance at the recommendation of my therapist that had to do with like trans women and straight guy being sketchy, and so like with the straight guy, when he was being questioned by the other couples and shit like that, he goes, "Oh well, this is just me. This is just you guys are asking me to like change who I am." Meanwhile, what he was doing was like while his girlfriend was away, going to bars, flirting with single girls, getting their social media information.
Again,
freaking like
that's a few steps further than where I was going with it. But I get what you're saying. No, I get how what I was saying is coming off, so I'm probably not explaining it well enough.
Okay.
But I'm saying just sort of like, obviously I've known you before transition, during, and as you're going through your journey. I think, what was it, years before like it was even considered.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't know until 2022.
Granted, I see you as a younger sibling to me, so I never had that weird, like, be more tender with you. I'll hit you in the face with a lightsaber. I don't care.
As you should. And I love that, honestly.
And I kind of want my son to be like that with everybody. Like, look, fair game. We're all friends.
He's getting there.
But I do recognize that I would have been more like, I have to be more delicate with her now. Right? Because that's how. Because I used to do the pedestal thing with women in general, and so I kind of sympathize with. Again, I can sympathize with just about anybody, but it doesn't mean I agree with the action.
Yes.
Sympathize with guys who feel like it's incels, for instance.
Yeah.
They build it off. Like, you can say all that hate and bullshit that they spew, but a lot of it sounds so like they put women on this weird pedestal where they stop being human, and then more so they're in love with the idea.
Yes.
And
yeah, you're 100% on that.
To break that cultural norm, which, with the trans, like, accepting trans people actually will help with that a lot too. To break that social norm, so guys don't feel like they have to live up to this certain thing, because we get these red pill bastards pushing that idea onto them. Like, man, I wish I had all these girls. like, do you know how unfulfilling it would be to just have any woman you want?
And not only that, not only that, but also like
the
fact. But sorry, that's really fast. Like, not only that, but also
go on.
It's like. Also, making it normalized for men not to feel ashamed if they go out with a trans woman, not feeling like, oh, I had to settle for a tranny. It's like, no, you didn't settle for anything. Like, fucking, we're still people,
Yeah, no, there's, what? I feel guys who are even remotely willing. Again, I feel like everybody that transitions with somebody has to. It's like, it's just a thing. If I met you now, you would just be, hey, there's this girl Ren that I work with or I know. And for those guys that know this, first we have to deal with the ripple effect of the fucking 90s sensationalizing and pretty much turning it into a circus. Trans women that, just trying to live their life, tricking a guy, not saying that was okay either.
Right. Definitely not. No.
But just to one, feel like they are a person, but also pursue a relationship. And the only way they could do that was to trick somebody. And then having that turned into a sideshow. We're dealing with the ripple effects of that.
Yes.
Constantly. And so now it's more so, well, now we just have to change the game altogether. The dynamic between men, women, trans women.
Humans
we just need to change the way we all deal with it. Because just adding these little addendums is just putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound.
Exactly. And that's exactly why early on I made it a point to mention that the trans question is more of a systemic existential question.
Yes.
And that right there. Yeah.
Ta-da.
I think
that's all I had.
I have more, but I know
Sorry.
there's a limit. Of course I have way more, but I know we have a limit time-wise. So
Yeah, we're going to have to do another episode because I think we could probably talk for another 2 hours easily.
If not more than that, honestly.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do another one. But yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I'm gonna keep the wrap up short. So go to the website.
ATIWIHY.com.
Oh, Joaquim's got his
shirt
iDead name.
So dope.
Twitter.
I love this
shirt.
shirt.
Go to our store. You can buy an iDead name, X shirt now.
X.
can't
Ugh.
because Twitter took our shirt down. But
I just don't like saying the word X.
I don't either. I refuse. It's a fucking letter. It's not a word.
The only X I know is a professor, and he has psychic powers.
Yeah, and he's
Nailed
in
it.
a yellow wheelchair machine thing.
Yellow hovering wheelchair.
Rest in peace.
Have you
He's
watched?
Patrick
Have you watched
Stewart.
X-Men 96 yet? 96?
I have 97.
97.
Or is not 98.
98.
N-
94.
97.
think
97.
is
Yeah, it's
I think it's
97.
97.
Yeah, that's part
I
of the
gotta
title,
watch it. There's 2 episodes out.
All I know is that Gambit is now becoming like people's awakening.
I can't fucking wait to watch it.
Like he's becoming the gay awakening for a lot of people right now.
Oh my God.
Like,
And that's where we're gonna end this episode, folks. Yeah. Oh man, that was a really fun conversation and episode. I think
Yes.
the music's loud. I know it's hard to talk over.
It's
Rin,
kinda how it
Rin, you will
works.
definitely be invited back soon because I think we got a lot more to talk about.
Yes.
I had a
love
lot of
that.
fun.
Me too, honestly, and you know, it's oh god, ADHD. Okay. It doesn't. All right, it can be about any topic. Even I'm open for any kind of topic. It doesn't even have to be a trans thing. Anything, I'm down.
Yeah.
for.
That's what I'm
No,
saying. Next.
Rin's sufficient enough to be a smart ass.
Yeah.
so.
Next time through, we're just gonna talk about something completely separate. So,
I'm here for it.
all right, guys, we'll see you soon. Peace.
Bye.
Later.